station, the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Mo masita sheno kon kashinimu na mo bana ye himbrena nengono so mo danase on shoni radio telephone so amayen mo danase na mo shirani di
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Six after 6. Friday morning, 7th February 2025. Good morning to you. Welcome to 97.3 Citi FM. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. My name is Caleb Kuda. Thank you so much for choosing us. It's a powerful way to start your morning. It's a beautiful song, caroled from one of the shortest Psalms, Psalm 100. I love it. It says, shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, praise his name, for the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. Good morning to you. We'll lift up praise and thanksgiving this morning one more time, because we know what he has done for us, because his love endures forever, and his faithfulness continues through all generations. Thank you so much, Elder Awoche, Pastor Buete. This is a powerful one and we love it so much. Quick thoughts to start your morning. Grateful people protect what they have. Entitled people destroy what they got. To him who has, much more will be given to him. He who does not have, the little he has has will be taken away from him. If you want to know whether you're grateful, check how you value the things you have. Not just the tangible things, but the intangible things as well. So we are grateful that we are not where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. We are grateful that we have a democracy where we get to even speak our minds. Not many have it that way. So as a nation, we are not where we must be. We are not where we want to be, but we are certainly not where we used to be. And that's one thing we are grateful for. And we must by all means protect this democracy by our utterances and our actions. If you're a leader, you're a citizen, you have to be grateful for the land God has given us. Some fought for this land, and you must not destroy it by your actions and your deeds. As citizens, we must show gratitude for the land we have, the land of our birth. We must do all we can to protect it. Let us not be entitled. Let us not take what we have for granted. What are you grateful for? Grateful for the opportunity to engage you on this phenomenon. We call it radio. Powerful. And we use it meaningfully together with you. It's a family we have, and we are grateful for your listenership. Thank you for joining us always at all times. The WhatsApp line is 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. We'll bring you in a newspaper review shortly. That was Business Sense. We'll go online, bring you what's been happening. We'll take you through the newspapers as well. The newspaper review is brought to you by Total, Excellium, and Piva Beverages. Total Energies introduces Excellium new formula, additive and rich fuel. It's powerful 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption thanks to the cumulative effects of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives. Excellium new formula also lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing CO2 emissions. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality. And have you been piverized? That's the question we always ask you. If you're looking for a best of flavor in every sip, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. We have the Piva Cola, Piva Orange Fruit, Piva Cocktail Fruit Drink, Piva Grapefruit, Piva Tangy. My goodness, besting with tangerine flavor. Grab yours today, available at your local store. Call us 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages, a taste you will love.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva Orange Fruit Drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva Cocktail Fruit Drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy Fruit Drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go, the gogo.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
CK Man, Adjoa Yankee, leading us into the newspaper review and online reviews as well. Bernardino Kokwable, good morning, Bernard.
Good morning.
It's Friday morning.
Yes, indeed, and I'm happy to be on the other side. I don't have no problems, my brother.
This side, you're hot.
The seat is hot.
It's very, very hot.
You are more than able.
Amen. Well, the papers, right?
The newspapers are speaking.
Yeah.
The Chronicle says police chief inspectors thrown out of court.
Yep.
Failed to prove case for direct entry into police academy. There's a photo of the IGP there. Also, 5 accused persons defraud Kumasi-based businessman of 12 million cedis. And then Amma Kofi-Bua, the Minister for Lands, woos Western Regional Chiefs to support fight against Galamsey.
Right.
Meanwhile, the KGL group is honoring Otunfor with ultramodern mental health facility in Kumasi.
Okay.
The news center also has a very interesting one. NIA warns recalcitrant institutions to use real-time verification to fight fraud. The photo of Yayira Kokudeku is on the front pages, the CEO. Also, Baba Sam debunks false accusations, fights for custody of a daughter. This story has various angles on different newspapers. Now, this is a couple of days old. Mahama proposes July 1 as National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I fully paid all debts or all business debts owed banks. I've been marking. Then there's a very important article here. The cost of America's retreat, what a USAID shutdown would mean for Ghana. Dr. Jimmy Kuting has an article I think you should read.
Yeah, very interesting one. The Ghanaian publisher has some of the stories also. I fully paid all business debts at Penny Market. I won't run away. Baba Sam replies ex-partner. KGL honors Otunfor with mental health facility. Yakubu Tali resigns as ADB MD and Mahama proposes July 1 as National Prayer Day. Same.
The Informer says attempts to blame Baumia for MPP's defeat. Loyalists resist smear campaign. Very interesting analysis here. MD for life, live in peace. SIC staff advised Jai to me a photo of the outgoing and the incoming, both on the front page. Meanwhile, treat police death as criminal.
Yeah.
IGP tells football fans. This is Dr. Dampari speaking. And Mahama resorts Republic holiday to be observed as National Prayer and Thanksgiving Day. Then Buffalo Soldier and Orkwenu joins ancestors today, so he's going to be embarking on his last journey today. And Orkwenu, the fabled, highly respected soldier, he used to command the ECOWAS forces, ECOMOG in Liberia, with some very interesting stories to tell. He has he's moving on.
He's paid his dues.
Yes, please.
Now, the Catholic Standard has an interesting editorial. One too many disruptive parliamentary behavior sales public trust. And Bishop Jemfi urges consecrated persons to be pilgrims of hope. You also have, we are committed to safeguarding Catholic faith. This is the bishops, and March 7 dedicated to prayer for beautification of Cardinal Dairy.
So you read the Ghanaian publisher, and I have the new publisher.
Right.
And the front page is like a whole sentence.
Yeah.
Is this the same Bejra, the MP who threatened to beat up other MPs in Parliament, lacks the moral power to probe in any chaos in Parliament? So there's a photo of him on the Bejra. There's a video of him that was circulating
much earlier,
I think around the election period, when
they were doing the majority, when there was a tussle over the majority.
I think that was last year.
Yes,
where he said, allow us to beat them. They're asking whether he's the same person who's leading this committee. Now, Anglo Chief's petition speaker over daughter of a Medra comment, this matter ain't going anywhere. Now, the Business and Financial Times leads with a very interesting one. Fuel price stability, toll modernization, pipeline network and tax reform are key. Sounds like the thesis paper. Fuel price stability, toll modernization. Charlie, why do you write headlines like this? Charlie, what is this? Toll modernization, pipeline network and tax reform are key.
Thank you.
And to make matters worse, it's said by somebody called Comac. Whether it's somebody's name or somebody's, I don't know.
Group we don't know.
Comac. Africa must move away from fragmented economic strategies. MTN Ghana CFO is speaking. Drive down data costs, grow cybersecurity fund. ACDT is urging the incoming Minister for Communications. And then core PME survey launched to assess phase 2 of PFJ. Then again, a couple of interesting articles. A new dawn for nations communications ICC sector. Pope Barnabas is writing. He basically trying to tell the new minister what the issues are.
That's right.
And then understanding SDGs and their roles in shaping development. Another article in the BNFT.
Okay, so I'll take you online quickly. Channel1news.com. Allow due process in Ablekuma North. This is Ahiagba to the NDC. Supreme Court grants NDC's request for substituted service on MPP MPs. Ablekuma North results. I am unperturbed by delays. This is a clear free. Mustafa Gbande has been appointed Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency. And Tanko Computer is saying minority has only 88 members. They can't stop government business. In fact, in the voice we played earlier on the news, it said the speaker should give them laptops. They should want proceedings from the house.
Are you serious?
This guy. We will operationalize Commander Sugar Factory. Mahama assures stay away from chieftaincy matters. Eastern Regional House of Chiefs to politicians. And then the Anglo Chiefs demand MP who insulted Zaneto to be identified within 5 days. If you go to citynewsroom.com, I'll refer oral findings to investigative agencies. This is Mahama. Ayagba says NDC's actions sparked Anodon Press controversial comment. Yeah, and Ablekuma North, we won't go for a rerun, a free year here. Stop mining in water bodies or face action. Dr. Mwakohene warns Galamseyers. We will see.
This is the Ashanti Regional Minister.
Correct. I will improve free SHS. Mahama affirms. Help your MPP colleagues beat NDC members. Anodon Pre to supporters. A very reprehensible statement coming from a member of parliament. Irate NDC youth in Ashaiman vandalized chairman's office over appointment discontent. Reading from myjoyonline.com. Was Mahama on mass? Former finance minister rejects economic crisis claim. Ghana's economic recovery was faster than expected. Let's not reverse it. Dr. Amin Adam has been saying a lot. And ex-SIC MD withdraws suit challenging termination of appointment. And that lawsuit, Joy reports, has revealed she was taking a monthly salary of 70,000 Ghana cedis and other lavish perks that has got social media talking
a lot.
Yeah, I will not forget about creative arts sector. Dumelo is speaking here. If you go to graphic.com, no government funds used for Hajj fare reduction. Alhaji Collins Dawda is speaking. Tragic one here is that a 4-month-old baby died in Kiseman Junction slum fire. And prostate liver cancers among leading causes of death in Ghana. There are other earlier stories. Ghanaian Times also has the story that says new Hajj fare pegged at 62,000. It's an earlier story. President Mahama is doing a thank you tour. They have stories of that.
So there's a lot of stories on that. Maybe we'll start from there. But if I go to Graphic Online, I don't know if you've been there yet. They, for some reason, the Daily Graphic hard copy paper has not been available. I'm not sure if they're having any challenges, but Oral will hold past and present officials accountable. This is Mahama speaking, and this is captured in the Daily Graphic. And then he also says Commander Sugar Factory to be made operational.
That's right.
And then this is still on the graphic. He's said a lot in the central region, actually.
Like Kaswa Cape Coast dualization.
Second and third phases to be funded under big push.
Right.
Maybe we should start with the central region, because I'm hearing a lot of things from there, from the president.
Yeah.
If you can give me one or two of those stories.
Great. I will start with the oral story. Oral will hold past and present officials accountable. President John Dramani Mahama has reiterated that the activities of the Operation Retrieve All Loot Oral Committee are aimed at ensuring accountability for all individuals in positions of trust and not targeted specifically at officials of the previous New Patriotic Party administration. He stated that his administration was committed to implementing a strict system of accountability without fear or favor. President Mahama made these remarks when he addressed hundreds of people at a thank you rally in Cape Coast yesterday.
The other thing he spoke about is captured on citinewsroom.com. He says, I will improve free SHS.
Yeah.
So, former president, sorry, why do I keep saying former president?
President
I have to get used to it. President Mahama has reaffirmed his commitment to improve the free senior high school program, vying to tackle its challenges and enhance its educational outcomes. Now, it's again, same program, Cape Coast. President Mahama emphasized education as one of his top priorities. He outlined plans to strengthen the free SHS by securing dedicated funding and decentralized food procurement to ensure efficient operations. Now, the third one has to do with the Commander Sugar Factory.
Yes, please.
Where he's promising, in fact, there are 4 stories.
Yeah.
So, on the Commander one, he says he has assured that the Commander Sugar Factory will be made operational under his government.
Yeah.
He said his administration was committed to ensuring that the project proceeds as planned to make the central region the country's largest supplier of sugar or producer of sugar. Now, the background is that the NDC government previously secured a $35 million loan from the Indian Export-Import Bank, followed by an additional $24 million investment to revamp the factory's operations. The factory was inaugurated by President Mahama, who was then 2016 May, but ceased operations shortly thereafter. The factory, which was expected to employ 7,300 people along the value chain, has remained largely non-operational since then.
Yeah.
The MPP government made several efforts to revive the factory, including conducting multiple test runs, but full operations were hampered with inadequate raw material supply, cited as a critical challenge. So now the president is saying they'll revamp it.
Yeah.
Last thing he said was that Cape Coast Kaswa dualization.
That's right.
Second and third phases. Do you have that story?
Yes.
To be funded under something called the Big Push.
Yeah, so that story is on graphic here, and he says that Kaswa Cape Coast dualization second and third phases to be funded under Big Push program. Detail says that in its manifesto, the NDC pledged to invest $10 billion in revitalizing Ghana's infrastructure and economy through the Big Push policies, an initiative that aims to accelerate infrastructure development, create jobs, and prioritize the completion of unfinished and abandoned government projects across the country. So during the thank you tour, he stated that the second phase of the project would include the dualization of the stretch from the Winneba roundabout to the Mankasim roundabout, while the third phase would extend from the Mankasim roundabout to Cape Coast. Now, the president further disclosed that the government had earmarked other critical roads in the central region for construction, including the Yamranza Asimfosu Road and the Cape Coast Trifoprasu Road, to improve connectivity and open up the region for economic development. He also touched on markets like the Mankasim market. He talked about modernizing it and all of that, Bernard.
All right, now I wanted to take you to a few other stories. So there's a bit of controversy over Blekuma North, where a number of people have been speaking about this. So, for example, the MPP's candidate says, I'm unperturbed by delays. Nane Kuefri, MPP candidate for Blekuma North, says she's confident of a victory despite delays in official declaration of results. Now, in an interview on Channel 1 News Room on Thursday, Efri stated that she remains patient and optimistic about the eventual outcome. The MPP's Richard Ahiagba is also asking NDC to allow due process to ensue, essentially. Now, this follows statement by Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre, who suggested that the MPP will stage a protest if the EC failed to declare the seat for their candidate Ekwe Free. Now, Richard Ahiagba was on the Channel 1 newsroom and criticized the NDC's call for a rerun, insisting that the election was conducted successfully and that there is no justification for any new vote. Then NDC has had their request for substituted service on MPP MPs granted. This is in relation to the same case. in a number of cases now, the Supreme Court has upheld the NDC's motion for MPP's candidates for a number of constituencies.
Yeah.
Techiman South,
Correct.
Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central, and Tema Central, not to be served personally. This is after the NDC's legal team on several locations failed to serve the MPP respondents a certiorari application filed at the Supreme Court seeking to overturn the High Court orders that allow for collation to be completed in these constituencies. So there's still a lot of constituencies that are not clear. Counsel for DC said in court on January 23 that attempts to serve the second to fifth interested parties, so Okankwe Central Party Buama, Nanekwe Free, Ablekuma North, Charles Force in Tema Central, J Mensa Kosa, Techiman South, have remained futile as they've been evading service. Hearing of the judicial review case has been obstructed by the difficulty in serving the MPP candidates who are parties in the suit. So the NDC applied to the High Court for an order to allow for what lawyers call substituted service. This order waives the right of the candidates to be served personally and allows for service via other media. So they can come and announce on air that you are served, or they can put it on a notice board or whatever. The Apex Court granted the NDC's plea and ordered for the application to be posted at the notice board of the Supreme Court. The candidates who are now MP, so Tema Central is already working. Okankwe Central is working. Techiman South already working. Are to be served through the legal department of Parliament. Meanwhile, MPP candidate for Ablekuma North and Ekwe Free is to be served by posting the documents at MPP office at Odoko.
I see.
Other media for service include posting at a house in Tema belonging to one of the candidates, etc., etc., etc.
Bernard, Anodon Press said something yesterday that has been roundly condemned. It's captured on citynewsroom.com. Help your NPP colleagues beat NDC members. Anodon Press to supporters. This is coming in the heat of this election coalition issues. Minority Chief Whip and Member of Parliament for Nsawama Dredju, Frank Anodompe, has called on supporters of the New Patriotic Party in Ablekuma North to stand by their fellow party members in confrontations with members of the NDC. Addressing a gathering of party supporters during a visit by the NPP caucus leadership to the party's parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North, Ekwe Free, Anodompe stated, if indeed you are a member of the NPP and you go to meet your fellow party member fighting a member of the NDC, join your party member to beat the NDC member. And then he goes on to say, we are giving the EC 1 week, 7 days. The EC must come and declare our candidate as the winner of the Ablekuma North election. So Frank, I'm not
sure what book he's using in his new journey as a minority chief whip, from his altercation in Parliament to the suspension. Somebody really needs to call him and advise him, because I don't think this is the way to go for responsible opposition. Now let me bring you stories I know you're interested in. Road and Highways Ministry announces competitive and fair procurement for what they call technologically driven toll collation system. So the Kwame Govins Abuja led Roads and Highway Ministry has announced the return of road and bridge tolls. Only that this time collection will be technologically driven and not done via toll booths. To achieve this objective, the ministry will employ an open, transparent, competitive, cost-effective, and fair procurement process. Now, they released a statement yesterday signed by your good friend Nasir Ahmediate,
Alhaji Nasir,
head of public relations unit. He says the ministry assures the public of its commitment to introducing a modernized system that will address the current tolling and road maintenance funding challenges of our country. With the introduction of the electronic e-levy, former President Akufo-Addo administration ended road and bridge tolls in 2021. Now, the NDC government said they will reintroduce it using a new tech. So if you have a solution, you can also enter and tell the government how you want to.
It's very important. Let us know how you can do that. I am taking you to my joy now, and says lawsuit reviews ex-SIC MD's 70,000 Ghana Cedi monthly salary and lavish perks. A legal battle has erupted between the outgoing SIC Insurance Managing Director, Hollister Yentumi, and the company after she allegedly refused to hand over the role despite being replaced by John Dramani Mahamad's appointee, James Ajenim Boateng. Now, the details here are what the court documents are revealing. That Madame Yentumi earned a gross monthly salary of 70,000 Ghana Cedis, bringing her annual basic earnings to 840,000 Ghana Cedis. Now, beyond her salary, she enjoyed a clothing allowance of 84,000 Ghana Cedis per year, an entertainment allowance of 7,000 Ghana Cedis per month, and a canteen allowance of 850 Ghana Cedis monthly. She also received a professional allowance of 1,200 Ghana cedis, payments for personal staff, including 3,000 cedis each for a house help, personal security, as well as 2,000 cedis for a gardener.
This is what comes with the position, which is why people are fighting for position. So it's not like it's hair. The new person who is going there too can enjoy this. So when you actually enjoy it. He will.
So when I read the details of the lawsuit, my mind went back to our conversation yesterday. I see why people are clamoring for the roles.
Meanwhile,
despite the duties that come with them.
The same website is now announcing that she has withdrawn the suit. So let me bring you that. The immediate past MD of SIC, Holista Adrian, has withdrawn her court application. I'm reading my journal now.
Yes,
seeking to hold the termination of her appointment by President Mahama. According to Joy Business, this decision follows a high-stakes meeting held earlier on February the 6th between the key parties involved in the dispute. Sources indicate an agreement has been reached to resolve the matter out of court. As part of the resolution, she has also withdrawn her lawsuit challenging the appointment of James Ajeni Boateng as the new MD. So the background is what you just gave.
Yeah.
Now let me deal with some political stories.
Sure.
So there's a story in the Informer that says that loyalists resist smear campaign. It's a news desk report. It says loyalists of Alhaji Bawumia have vowed to resist any attempt to blame the MPP's defeat in the 2024 elections on its presidential candidate. Now, commenting on the issue in a Facebook post, former CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, NEIP, Kofi Ofosu Nkansah, argued that it will be unfair on the part of anybody to put the blame at the doorstep of Dr. Bawumia, since, as he puts it, all of us in one way or another contributed to the defeat. Some of us will not tolerate any agenda to push the blame for the 2024 defeat on the candidature of Dr. Bawumia. The election was a referendum on our 8 years in power, and some of our people decided not to vote for various reasons. From the president, vice ministers, board chairmen, CEOs, appointees, and all those who had direct or indirect power or influence during the 8 years, we all may have done something which contributed to the defeat. So we won't sit down for those who have interest in leading the party to use Dr. Bawumia as a scapegoat because of their ambition. I thought there was a committee working to get information on this.
Yeah, but people are pushing their own agenda.
The thing with our politics is that everybody can say so much that sometimes it even affects the process.
It does.
They've appointed Professor Okwe to look into the matter. Let's just allow them now. So somebody let me tell you, this morning, I'm sure some radio station will call somebody.
Yes.
They say, hey, Komika, let's also add our own.
Another agenda will be very soon.
I don't even understand.
Let me bring you two quick ones on Galamsey. Chiefs traditional leaders must lead Galamsey fight. This is Ama Kofi Boa, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa has urged chiefs and traditional leaders to lead the fight against illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey. He emphasized that his strategy is not about replacing small-scale mining operators affiliated with the NPP with those from the NDC, but a firm commitment to eradicating the Galamsey menace. But if you go to the Ashanti region, Dr. Mwako Hene gives Galamsey operators 2 weeks to leave site. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Mwako Hene, has issued a stern warning to illegal miners in the region to seize and vacate their controversial areas of operation. Okay, so Mwako Hene gave the illegal miners a 2-week ultimatum to fully comply.
Now, Harun Idrisu, Education Minister, is urging University of Ghana to reduce residential facility fees by 25%. Citi Newsroom is capturing the story. I don't know if you heard. The Education Minister has urged the University of Ghana to reduce the residential facility fees by 25% for both fresh and continuing students. This decision was made during a meeting on, I don't know if it's a decision. It says it's urgent. So how do you say it's a decision? Well, okay, this announcement or this call or whatever you want to use it was made during a meeting yesterday, February 6th, with the university's management, including VC Professor Nana Bamfo and the SRC at the ministry. I have asked the Vice Chancellor. So I don't know whether what you say you've asked is a directive or an advice. I have asked the Vice Chancellor to reduce the residential fees by 25%.
Okay.
And I have subsequently asked her to engage you, the SRC, in the future on any fee announcement. In response, Vice Chancellor Professor Nana Bamfo assured the Minister of the University's compliance with the directive. So there is not an advice, it's more like so here's the quote. We have listened to you, our minister, and also our students, and we can afford to reduce it to 25% across the board. And going forward, there will be adequate student engagement.
Interesting.
Maradona Ajayeboa, president of the SRC. Oh, is that Guru? Maradona, is that his name? Maradona Ajayeboa, president of the SRC, welcomed the reduction but called for refunds for students who had already paid the higher fees.
Okay.
We are thankful for the reduction. At least it will reduce some sort of burden from our parents. I think it's an amazing one. Oh.
Yeah.
So the investors agreed?
Yeah.
Without a demonstration?
Prof, good morning.
Oh, people are working.
This is good. Is it
No, Maradona, you are skillful. Maradona took the visit to the minister's office to
Okay.
No, Maradona for life. You have to drop a guru for me.
Okay.
And
that was the news review. Thank you, Medan.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi 97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi 973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi 973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
AMG, baby.
On that Maradona note, do not get scammed. EcoBank is sending you an SOS. They say be extra vigilant. There are scammers all over the place who are seeking to defraud you of your hard-earned money. They will call you, they will send you messages or email posing as staff wishing to assist you update your bank details. Some of them will create the impression that the bank will be calling you to ask for your account and card details to help you link your Ghana card to your bank account. Please, all these are schemes to defraud you. Do not fall for that. Report any suspicious SMS, email or phone call to the EcoBank contact center. Delete such messages at once. When you're in doubt or you feel insecure, call EcoBank contact center 0800 003225. It's a toll-free number. Now, why wait to own your dream phone when you can have it now without breaking the bank? With MTN Pick and Pay Later, you can own your perfect smartphone and pay in easy installments over 4 to 6 months. The best part is all phones come with up to 3 GB free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after the purchase. Dial simply *170#, choose device Pick and Pay Later under the loan menu to start the process with just a small initial deposit. You then stop by any MTN service center to grab your dream phone and enjoy the ultimate smartphone experience. Let's talk about Girl Energy. It brings you the Girl Super XP, ideal choice for most vehicles. Just go fuel up your vehicle and enjoy the smooth ride with all the benefits. Its quality gives you the correct choice when buying regular fuel. Fortified with special additive that gives longevity to your engine, makes your engine performs to the max. Use minimal fuel and it is suitable for most vehicles. Girl Super XP, so feel ya. Ube feel it, go good energy and idea.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Neil Ate is in the studio, rocking his University of Ghana cloth. You're celebrating the reduction in the residential fees.
Yes, I have to celebrate it for the students on campus now, because paying that huge sum of money as residential fees is not quite easy.
Let's jump into the stories.
Hello there, welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News on 97.3 Citi FM. The bulletin is proudly brought to you by MTN Guel EcoBank. My name is Ni Latte. This morning we begin from the State Insurance Company Limited, that's SIC Insurance, because the immediate past managing director of the company, Hollister Duayen to me, is expected to officially hand over to her successor, James Ejenim Boatin, latest by end of next week. Citi Business News has gathered that this decision follows a crucial meeting held yesterday between the key stakeholders involved in the dispute. Already, Madam Duayen to me has withdrawn her court application seeking to halt the termination of her appointment by President John Dramani Mahama. Sources also indicate that the understanding has been reached to settle the matter amicably out of court. As part of the resolution, Madam Dua Yentumi has also discontinued her lawsuit contesting the appointment of James Ejenim Boateng as the new managing director of SIC Insurance. Meanwhile, private legal practitioner Jonathan Amable has stated that the impasse could have been resolved through a proper interpretation of the company's governance code and the constitution.
The constitution of the company, when you look at section 172 of our Companies Act, that has the authority to determine who has the power to appoint directors. If the constitution does not give that power to any specified persons, then ordinarily the shareholders of the company would exercise that power by ordinary resolution or by whatever means that the shareholders want to do that. That is the position. And in relation to the removal, again, the constitution can specify how the director should be removed. So if the constitution has given a power to somebody to appoint a director, the constitution can also give power to that person to replace the director without having recourse to a shareholder ordinary resolution. But even where that provision is in the constitution, then the law provides in section 176 that regardless of whatever the constitution says about appointments and removals, all the shareholders of the company may by ordinary resolution remove a director. So in this conversation, the document that is really important that we need to look at is the constitution of SIC.
That was private legal practitioner Jonathan Amable. Now, the Agricultural Development Bank PLC has announced the resignation of Alassane Yakubu Tali as managing director effective February 5, 2025. This follows the nomination of a new managing director by the majority shareholders. Now, the International Monetary Fund says it will continue to maintain global economic and financial stability as well as foster international cooperation despite a shift in geopolitical dynamics. The comment comes as the new Donald Trump administration in the United States advances its America First agenda, a strategy that has seen the country reconsider its involvement in various global institutions. Addressing the IMF's first press briefing of the year, Director of Communications at the IMF, Julie Kozak, underscored the fund's focus on supporting member countries, including Ghana, in navigating economic uncertainties.
We are a global institution. We have a clearly defined mandate to support economic and financial stability globally and to ultimately support growth and employment in the world economy. We are continuing as an institution to remain laser focused, of course, on that mandate. And we, as a global institution, take our responsibility to serve our membership very, very seriously. And we will continue to do everything that we need to do to serve our membership in the best possible way. You know, we do, as I said, have a long history of working with successive U.S. administrations, and we look forward to continuing to do so. As an institution for which the U.S. is our largest shareholder.
Julie Kozak is the director of the Communications Department at the International Monetary Fund, speaking in Washington, D.C. Back home, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, is cautioning the government to take immediate action to strengthen border controls and halt the illegal importation of food items in the country. The association warns that such activities could result in significant revenue losses for the state and create unfair competition for legitimate industry players. In an interview with Citi Business News, the executive chairman of FABAG, John Awuni, called for urgent government intervention.
It's unscrupulous business people are importing through illegal borders, and it has become a major border for the business community that smuggling is taken over and washing away the revenue of the potential revenue of the government. And if the government there looks at their revenue from some of these commodities, they realize that it has declined. For sugar, for rice, for oil, for most of the fast-moving commodities, they are being smuggled into the country. And the earlier the government does that, the better.
John Awuni is executive chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. On the forex market, the dollar trading at 16 cedis 10 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 90 pesos, that of the euro going for 16 cedis 80 pesos. A reminder that these are the rates being offered by some forex bureaus in the capital. And that's it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News on 97.3 Citi FM, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil and EcoBank. I am Ni Lati. Coming up next is the Citi Business Edition.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244-308-111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchet, mommy rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, Charlie, and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial star 770 hash. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuel. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who feel? Good energy. Yeah,
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
At 7:11, we'll be bringing you a conversation on illicit financial flows, Oxfam Tax Dialogue Series. Our guest said Nana Amwako, Head of Analysis, Financial Intelligence Center, and Adobia Jennifer Hall. She's a lecturer, School of Law, University of Ghana. That is coming up shortly. Meantime, First Bank Ghana says if you're sending money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's much easier now through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems PAPS. Send and receive money to any of these countries for business and personal purposes. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, all you will need is a First Bank Ghana account. As one way we put you first. For more information, please call 0596 921 921. Switch to Telecel Fixed Broadband today and experience incredible bonuses, non-expiry bundles, data transfers across devices, and lots more. If you're a new customer, you get 50% bonus data. If you're an existing one, you receive 300% bonus data on every broadband renewal to keep browsing. Subscribe to Telecel Fixed Broadband today. Dial star 900 hash. Use the Telecel app, Play app. Visit the Telecel retail outlet, www.telecel.com.gh. Get connected today. Terms and conditions apply. Telecel, we are connecting energies. Now, are you a tertiary or high school graduate looking for employable skills to launch a career in tech? CodeTrain Africa is Ghana's premier software engineering and design training program, empowering hardworking individuals to take their place in the global tech scene. Now, for the past 7 years, CodeTrain has trained over 700 software engineers with an 89% job placement rate within just 6 months after graduation. For local and international companies, at CodeTrain, we don't just teach coding, we prepare you for the real world. Our practical bootcamp model gets you working on real life projects that solve problems for both local and international companies, simulating an actual work experience. We offer 2-year professional training program in software engineering and UX design, in-person training at our East Legon campus, interactive virtual options for students outside Accra. Admissions are now open. Visit codetrainafrica.com 054-5792-397. Call us and get started. Join CodeTrain Africa, your pathway to a high-paying tech career. So let's get into the Citi Business Edition this morning, where we are looking at illicit financial flows, Oxfam Tax Dialogue Series. Our guest, Seth Nana Mwako, Head of Analysis, Financial Intelligence Center, and Adobia Jennifer Hall, Lecturer, School of Law, University of Ghana, for all you need to know on illicit financial flows. This is the conversation for you. Stay tuned in.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love from somebody. La 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 la.
Hello there, I am me, Latte. This is 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. This is our third in series of the 2025 edition of the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. We began with progressive taxation, delved into high net worth individuals taxation. Today, it's a topic that you find very relatable. It's a topic that a lot of people keep talking about in the financial landscape of the country. Today, we are here to unpack everything about that topic for you. My name is Ni Latte. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. When we come back, I will introduce the topic for discussion as well as my guest.
I'm gonna get me some love from somebody. La 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 la.
Still here on the 2025 edition of the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. Today, the topic for discussion is one that affects national economies, affects revenue generation of the country. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about illicit financial flows. Yes, illicit financial flows, IFFs to be precise. And it's a topic that generates a lot of conversation. And so if you are here with us today, stay with us for the next 30 minutes. My guest, one from the University of Ghana Law School, as well as one from the Financial Intelligence Center. They are here to help us really appreciate what the issues are when it comes to illicit financial flows. Now, I can see my guest already smiling. Yes, so we have Adobia Jennifer Hall, a law lecturer from the University of Ghana Law School. Welcome, Jennifer. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming to as well. And Seth Nana Mwako, he is head of analysis at the Financial Intelligence Center. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
All right, sure. Let's begin on this note. I want to begin with you, Seth. Illicit financial flows. I see 3 words here. Illicit financial flows. Illicit, which means that something that is illegal, something that is unethical, financial, meaning some form of business transaction or financial transaction, as well as flow, which means movement. So if you put all of these 3 words together and talk about illicit financial flows, what are we discussing here?
All right, thank you. As you've already indicated, basically you're talking about monies from illegal sources and maybe using the financial sector or the non-financial to move these funds around, usually to different jurisdictions. And usually you may also need a third party to facilitate that as well. And the sources of funds basically are from illegal sources, and we call them predicate offenses. And some of the sources may be corruption, embezzlement, smuggling in general, And for my office, we do pay attention to these ill-gotten source of funds.
So we talk about corruption, illegal activities. Explain further, what form and shape does this particular illicit financial flow, take, especially with regards to which sectors? So, of course, if the money is being moved illegally and it's crossing borders, that's where we say illicit financial flows. If it happens within country, it doesn't qualify to be illicit financial flow.
All right, thank you. Once again, if you talk about the schemes, then if you're doing bank-to-bank transfer and the source of funds is not genuine or cannot be authenticated, maybe you may also use one pillar of illicit financial flows like money laundering, which is basically washing funds from ill-gotten sources. So not always talking about jurisdictions. In-house, you may have illegal activities, transfers of funds, using third parties, and the aim is to disguise the source. But we usually use illicit financial flows because of the fact that most of the parties may also be outside your jurisdiction. But in-house, you may have ill-gotten source of funds being moved from one entity to another, and we can use money laundering schemes to also define that.
I see Jennifer nodding. I don't know what you want to add to the opening remarks on what illicit financial flows are.
Okay, so just to continue from where Seth ended, the impression that the funds always have to cross borders is really not accurate, because there are instances where people use the money internally. So for instance, someone gets money illegally from illegal mining, for instance. The person can decide to, in order to hide the source of that money, starts build up an apartment. So there's some evidence that the real estate sector is even being infiltrated by this kind of activities, so as to hide the source of the income. So to add to what Seth also said, there are three main forms in which illicit financial flows occurs. So first of all, the funds may be illegal in their origin, or they may be illegal in the transfer, or illegal in the use. So for instance, we say the flows are illegal in origin if the source of the funds is from an illegal activity, like illegal mining. Galamsey in itself is an illegal activity. Or the funds are illegal in the transfer, the method in which the funds are moved. So we can talk about tax evasion, or we can talk about money laundering, which I'm sure Seth would throw a bit more light on. And then we can also talk about the use of the funds. The funds being used for an illegal activity. So in some jurisdictions, these funds are used to finance terrorism. In a country like this, some of these funds are used to sponsor political parties during their elections. And these are all illegal use of money, or to buy votes. Yes, so these are some of the examples in which
I see. So the picture you paint, quite interesting. The three legs of the conversation, that one, the funds sourced illegally, the transfer is illegal, and even the activity for which reason the funds are being transferred, that activity is also illegal. But you are the legal person here. Is this the reason we have anti-terrorism, money laundering? How far have we come in terms of, the legal and tax structure? What picture do you see?
I think for Ghana, we have very good laws. To be very honest with you, we have very good laws. We are very good at enacting laws. But the problem has to do with the implementation. I think the legal structures we have in place to fight corruption, to fight illicit financial flows are adequate. They may not be perfect, but then they are really adequate to deal with the situations. The problem has to do with enforcement. For instance, something like asset declaration. It's in our constitution, right? There's also an asset declaration law. But then, it's not being implemented. Recently, the president has, nominated people as ministers. The president himself has been elected into office. These people have not declared their assets. Their assets are not even made public. So even though there's a lot of conversation about these things, there's really the lack of political will to ensure that these laws are implemented.
So Jennifer doesn't want to believe that the laws are weak in nature. The laws are apt, it's left with the enforceability of same, so that we'll be able to deal with some of these issues. But back to you, Seth. you sit at the Financial Intelligence Center, that's FIC, and so usually, what do you see? What pushes people to go into this form of, illicit financial flows? Is it that there are lapses in the regulatory and supervisory, framework, for which reason people want to identify the loopholes in some of these things to engage in these illegal activities?
Sure. All right, thank you. Maybe just to make comment on what she said earlier about the legal framework, and since you also cited two main acts, the Anti-Terrorism Act and the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Anti-Money Laundering Act has gone through phases in terms of strengthening it. So as we speak, we have the Act 1044, which was passed the year 2020, making sure that it's in line with the international standards. And in terms of even the mandate of FIC, we'll look at how we can talk about tax crimes and how we can even work with agencies to curb the issue of tax crimes. So the act for us, I'm talking about Anti-Money Laundering Act, is robust. But once again, when it comes to enforcement, not only FIC, even the reporting entities, what they need to report to FIC is also very key as well. Now back to the main question. Yes, in Ghana as we speak, we have a number of institutions in the fight against money laundering. Not only FIC, the regulators are also very key. The question to do with whether maybe where we sit, what we see in terms of the schemes, or what even motivates people to engage in illicit financial flows. Maybe I'll touch on the fact that we are in a cash-based economy. People are able to transact without any audit trail. So I can give money to you, it's not recorded. In terms of investigations, you cannot connect it to me. So it's also a motivating factor when it comes to this activity. And also the fact that maybe some of these entities involved, they don't even understand the effect of what we are discussing. So to cite an example to support what she said, the use of the real estate sector, the mining sector, most of the players in there are just there to do business, and they don't consider the impact of non-compliance or not doing the right thing. So these may be some of the factors when it comes to what motivates them.
I see. And so based on our discussion in the previous episode, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I tend to believe that most of these financial flows, the illicit one of course, will come from high worth individuals. Is that the case?
It may not be 100%. Yes, I may be doing business. I've registered, I have a bank account, and I have some partners outside Ghana. It's a genuine business, but the purpose of maybe getting this account opened or registering this entity is to move funds from Ghana to my counterparts in, let's say, Dubai, just an example. All right, it may not be a big, company in terms of size, but maybe the frequency of transaction, all right, may be a key thing to consider. So yes, maybe one leg, you need to look at the high worth net, but it's not always the case. There will be other entities or individuals engaged in other activities to promote illicit financial flows.
I asked because of the instance of, real estate mining you talk about, and also I think I read portions of, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, which says that, for example, if money is transferred or is received by an authority which exceeds the Bank of Ghana, threshold, that authority must notify the Bank of Ghana or any other authority. That is what the law says. Is it something that people do? Is it something that people do not do? And how does it affect, the administration of your institution?
Sure. So when it comes to regulatory requirements, maybe what you are describing would be threshold-based requirements. So where maybe I receive funds of...
Do you even know the threshold?
Yes, it's communicated to all the financial institutions.
Well, you can share with us.
Yeah. So for example, when you go to a bank to pay money,
right?
And in this context, I mean commercial bank like, I don't want to mention it, maybe EcoBank, Fidelity, Stanchart. If you conduct transaction, cash, whether you deposit or you withdraw, around 50,000 or more, a report is sent to FIC. This is not suspicious transaction. This is just based on the threshold. Maybe to talk about the movement of funds, all right? And if you go to a non-bank, maybe the small banks, 20,000 Ghana cedis. So it's based on the threshold, just for the regulator to know how we are transacting in terms of movement as well. And this is not suspicious, meaning it hasn't come to attention to say that follow this transaction. But there will be some reports like suspicious transaction where you conduct a transaction and it's not in line with your profile. Then it may trigger some indicators of maybe money laundering. So in this case, the bank or the non-bank is supposed to report to FIC.
If you are listening to us on radio, this is 97.3 Citi FM. On TV, this is Channel 1 TV. I am Ni Latte. This is the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. We are discussing illicit financial flows. My guest, Edubia Jennifer Hall, a law lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Law, as well as Seth Nana Amwako, head of analysis at the Financial Intelligence Center. Stay with us. If we come back, we'll be talking about how illicit financial flows affect national economies and tax revenues of countries.
I'm gonna give me some love, somebody.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here on the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. We are discussing illicit financial flows. One lady, one gentleman helping me with the discussion. One from the Financial Intelligence Center, the other a law lecturer from the University of Ghana School of Law. I want us to get practical here. We've laid the foundation of, what illicit financial flows, taking different forms and shape, tax evasion, misinvoicing, sometimes internet fraud, people in various sectors of the economy, mining, real estate, all having a role to play, and what the laws say about some of these transactions. But one lawyer here, one head of policy analysis. I want you to share with me, I don't know if it's possible for you to give me an example each. On a daily basis, what are some of the kinds of reports that you receive with regards to illicit financial flows? Have you dealt with any issue like that, and how was the issue even resolved in the first place? I don't know who wants to take this one first.
Okay.
Maybe I should start with you, Jennifer. You are my immediate left.
Okay, so I haven't dealt with any issue, but based on my research in the area, I found out that between 2011 and 2017, the Ghana Revenue Authority conducted some studies on the export of gold out of the country, and then they found out that there had been an undervaluation of gold exports that led to the loss of about $957 of tax revenue that the country could have accrued from the export of gold. So that is one example that has been found based on research done by the GRA. And just to add to that, I mean, one of the areas that illicit financial flows is occurring is in the mining sector.
So like you mentioned, one of the areas that you have to deal with when it comes to illicit financial flows, mining sector, which you have established. That was one example you have cited. Let's get real also here in Ghana. I'm sure you have received a lot of reports coming in from all sectors. Just share with us some of these things that you receive on a daily basis.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe to cite one or two simple examples. One would be the fact that companies registered maybe to go into exports usually may not give the right information to their financial institutions or their banks. Sometimes they under-declare. So I'm talking about under-invoicing, over-invoicing, falsifying of documents. They do all that to make sure that they don't pay the right taxes. So in this case, tax evasion is a key thing here. They also do that knowing very well that maybe the bank may not do proper due diligence on these transactions. Some of them, so then they're able to take advantage of that. Case maybe I just want to add on to do with a company that asked for financial assistance from its bank, that it needed more than $1 million USD to strengthen the business. When the financial institution gave this loan to this entity, it decided to send maybe 300,000 USD to an entity outside Ghana. Of course, it wasn't easy for the entity to do that straight away, so we needed to present some supporting document in order to effect the transaction or the transfer. All the supporting documents were not genuine, they were fake, all right? And later the bank was able to detect that because of the fact that they did some checks. Now, in terms of collaboration, my office and GRA, were able to go into the activities of this entity to even know that they were not paying taxes. So tax evasion was very important here. They were not paying taxes, and the scheme that they used was the misinvoicing, just to make sure that they were able to move the funds around or to the entity outside.
I see. Quite
so
interesting.
In terms of interagency collaboration, we're able to stop that. Working with the banks and non-banks is very critical to FIC, but they are our main source of information. They report some of these suspicious transactions, so we work with them closely. Another maybe comment I just want to add is that even when you conduct transaction that we think you are using your personal account instead of business account, and we think you are using as a scheme to move funds around, we also have the right to do some investigations on you by engaging stakeholders like GRA to do some tax audit on you. And if it comes out that you are evading tax, GRA has the mandate to deduct that tax component from the transaction.
I see. Quite interesting development you talk about, and also the fact that you bring in the Ghana Revenue Authority every now and then to ensure that some of these things are curtailed. But back to some of the things I read prior to this conversation, a number of reports, both from domestic sources and international sources, all putting quite a huge sum of money to the impact of illicit financial flows. IOCO has done something in the past, the Global Financial Institution has done something even ISODEC has done something and I'm happy you mentioned that even gold smuggling is part of the reasons we are having to deal with illicit financial flows. So if you put this in context and talk about the impact on national economies, on revenue generation, and even the provision of essential goods and services to the ordinary Ghanaian. How grave is this concern when it comes to illicit financial flows? We are wrapping up, so
okay, sure.
I'll just let Jennifer speak a bit, and then Seth, you also come in, right?
Okay. I think you've kind of touched on it in your...
We want the expert opinion.
I think the obvious impact is the inability to mobilize revenue to fund our national budgets. The things that the country wants to achieve. Fund education, build more hospitals. Basic infrastructure that we need as a country. We are not able to mobilize money. And so you have the situation where governments are still imposing more taxes on the people to burden them. Meanwhile, we are already paying a lot of taxes already, which should be mobilized to ensure that we get our essential services. So I really think the obvious answer is that we are overburdening our citizens with more taxes, and also the fact that we are not mobilizing enough revenue. And just to add also, there's some evidence to prove that the amount of money we are receiving as foreign aid cannot be compared to what we are losing as a result of illicit financial flows. So really, if we are going to put a stop to these things, put efforts in place to put a stop to these things, probably we will be able to reduce our debts as a country.
Is this a similar sentiment you share, Seth?
Certainly, and since she's touched on the economy, I just want to move into other effects of illicit financial flows, talking about the financing of terrorism. Of course, since I'm coming from FIC,
you have to come on that.
Some of these funds may be used to support terrorism or illegal activities.
But is that the only two things that people do with illicit financial flows? Because anytime you talk about illicit financial flows, the fear is that it is used to fund terrorism and
just like the effect of money laundering, reputational issues. If your country is known as a conduit for illicit financial flows, you may have issues. At the international front, you'll be known for that, which is also not good for your country. There are a number of effects when it comes to that. Maybe we decide to pick some of these key ones, but there are a number of that. It can even affect the financial system as well. It can corrupt the financial system. Also talking about the fact that the youth may also engage in this kind of act. It may also not help the country. So there are a number of them. Since we're talking about effect of money laundering, once again countries do go through assessment, which you call mutual evaluation. Yeah. And Ghana will be going through one very soon, early next year.
I think the Bank of Ghana has said it.
Thank you. You know, we went through one 2016, report was ready 2018, and Ghana was grey listed.
Yes.
You heard Ghana was blacklisted.
Yeah,
we had to put a lot in place to be taken off the grey list. We'll be going through the same exercise again in 2016, early 2026, sorry. And we need to discuss some of these issues, because if you go through the mutual evaluation, it's to do with assessments of the country and things to do with money laundering, terrorism financing, other predicate offenses, regulatory issues, legal issues will be assessed. And if you are not on top, then you may have issues to do with blacklisting or grey listing. So it's important that we discuss illicit financial flows to see the impact on our jurisdiction.
I'm also tempted to believe that technology has a great role in this kind of conversation. It's serving as a good master, it is also serving as a bad master as well, because some of these acts are perpetuated through technology. But I want to also believe that it has a role in curbing it or dealing with it. Is it something that has come to your attention?
Yes, once again, one of the international standard setters called FATA, Financial Action Task Force, 2023, they came up with a document to do with the fact that when we touch on illicit financial flows, the cyber space is very key. So cyber can enable that. So movement of funds, now talking about cryptocurrencies or the virtual asset service providers. Like, these are some of the avenues that the bad actors may use to move funds around, and it's important we address them. Maybe in terms of regulatory issues, the central bank, SEC, very key in this area. But it's important for us to also look at the fact that cyber can enable illicit financial flows.
That's the concluding words of Seth. I want to give the final words to you, Jennifer. Let's talk about strengthening our, tax regime, strengthening our legal administration, putting all of these things together, ensuring that we have a very robust framework. Law school, I'm sure you also have some background in how some of these things can be addressed, because we can't have this conversation over and over and then you do not see anything happen in the real scheme of things.
I totally agree with you, and that's why I'll just go back to two main things: enforce the laws. We have the laws, and then also increase transparency. We have the Right to Information Act. Right? Are we able to get information on some of these things? Because the truth is that illicit financial flows thrives in secrecy. Okay, so if there's a lot of secrecy around these transactions, it allows people to get away with it. But we should try and encourage our various sectors to be very transparent in our dealings. Our government should be very transparent in its dealings. Businesses should be transparent in their dealings. The Registry of Companies, now there's the introduction of beneficial ownership, right? There should be a publication of who the beneficial owners of companies are. Now there's some debates about whether it should be publicly available or not. Now in Europe, I think in 2022, the European Court came up with a ruling that these information, beneficial ownership information, should no longer be made public. Now, I think we should really think about our country before we copy blindly, because for us, the context is different. So we shouldn't just go ahead and also copy blindly and say that this information should not be public. Our context is totally different. We should let these things be public so that there can be public scrutiny of these things, and you can have people, be watchdogs over these kind of institutions and everything that is going on in the country. And also, government should make their contracts very transparent. If a government is contracting with any multinational in very important sectors, the public should be aware of what is going on in that contract, what the negotiations are, what is being given in exchange for what, so that there can be that scrutiny. If they are given tax rebates and all of that, the government should let the people be aware, especially in the mining sector, because after all, the Constitution says that the minerals belongs to the people, right? So we should, if it's really for the people, then the people should know what is really going on when it comes to the exploitation of these minerals. And we should let our laws work. The law enforcement agency, we should stop the political interference. You see that there is this suspicion of money laundering, it should be investigated. Let's see steps being taken, and let's not just talk about the issue and then some days down the line, some weeks down the line, it has died down. We should take the steps, and there should be the political will to enforce these things.
And it's the passion with which you speak for me. Very much. But a bird just whispered into my ears. Maybe we didn't talk about how penalization is when you are caught in the web with illicit financial flows. I don't know if there are penalties and sanctions for individuals. If you can touch briefly on it.
Thank you. So most of the illegal activities, as I said earlier, the predicate offenses are basis that we can charge you for the offense of money laundering. So if you are evading tax and you are charged for offense of money laundering, for individual, it's very punitive. 100% to not more than 500% of how much you've laundered. All right. Corporate entities start from 300%, and there's no cap. So once again, it depends the judge who is sitting on your case. You understand? For me, the impact is very punitive, or the sanction is very punitive. That's why we always say that don't engage in money laundering. For illicit financial flows, if you are able to get the report from the sources and we're able to investigate to confirm that you are engaged in tax evasion or corruption or any of the predicate offenses, then we can also attach offense of money laundering in terms of sanctions. So yeah, the sanctions are there. If I'm talking about the Anti-Money Laundering Act, it can be used. Maybe GRA, talking about tax evasion, we can use the act as well. And I think it's something that we need to enforce, so then we can also cite cases and examples of money laundering or illicit financial flows the next time we meet.
Thank you very much, Seth. Thank you very much, Jennifer. This has been another episode of the Oxfam Tax Dialogue. My name is Lee Latte. Many thanks indeed for joining us. This is 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 Television.
Please wait.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
When the pain is too much, don't know what else to do. So hunam ya wuya, no wunya wunya. Rapping all, will take the pain away. Rapping all,
Rapinol is what you need. Rapinol will relieve you of all aches and pain in your body. Rheumatic pain, menstrual pain, body pain, toothaches, and other feverish conditions. Rapinol is a quality product from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. Not suitable for children below 16 years old, asthmatic, and also patients. This advert is FDA approved.
Yafinia give us the vibe. Now, Inshona Chile makes you thrive.
Yes, so it's time to enjoy, Charlie. Buy or renew your motor insurance and boom! Free fuel coupons and airtime for your sweat. Who don't like enjoyment? Skidibidi-bum-ba-dum-boom.
From January to June 2025, Enterprise Insurance gives you more reasons to smile on the road. Insure today and enjoy free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone.
Free fuel? Airtime too? Enterprise Insurance, always your advantage.
Inshona Chile. It's simple. Insure and enjoy. Ready to secure your peace of mind and experience the fastest claims payment? Visit any of our branches or agency outlets nationwide. Connect with your insurance broker or enjoy the convenience of buying your insurance online through the Enterprise Advantage app today. Terms and conditions apply.
Enterprise, your advantage.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
It's Friday morning. Welcome aboard to kick off on the Citi Breakfast Show with me, Edwin Kwakofi. Kickoff is powered by Shell V-Power, Shell Go Well, and Zonda GH. In the next few minutes, we'll look back on Liverpool's emphatic victory in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. But first, The Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association yesterday met with chief executive officers of Ghana Premier League clubs to discuss security concerns and other related matters in relation to the tragic incident that occurred at Nswatre, which led to the loss of life of a Kotoko fan. Some of the salient issues that were discussed included stadium safety, fan behavior, and emergency response protocol. Here are the excerpts of the statements released after the engagement, read by my colleague Bernard Abeku-Otre.
The meeting held on Thursday, February 6, 2025 at the GFA Secretariat, all Premier League clubs have agreed to an enhanced matchday security protocols. These enhanced protocols will form basis of an Executive Council meeting of the GFA on Friday, February 7, 2025, after which the comprehensive guidelines shall be published ahead of the resumption of the Premier League season. We pledge to work hand in hand with the Ghana Football Association, the security agencies, and other stakeholders to ensure that those responsible for these criminal acts are apprehended and brought to justice. Together, we pledge to create a safe and enjoyable environment for all football fans and stakeholders.
That statement was read by my colleague Yao Minta AJ. Later today, the GFA's Executive Council will meet the leadership of the various supporter groups in the Ghana Premier League as well. Away from that, the Ghana Premier League has announced the nominees for the NASCO Coach of the Month award for December and January. Heart of Oak boss Abubakar Ouattara is up for the award, and he led his side to 4 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss over the 2 months, as his side recorded 8 goals and conceded 4 in those 7 games. Kumasi Asante Kotoko Gafa Prosper Nate Ogum went unbeaten in the period with 5 wins and 1 draw, scoring 11 goals and conceding 3. The third nominee is Bechem United head coach Kweku Danso, whose side secured 4 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss in 6 games, scoring 8 and conceding 3. To Europe, and despite Man United's 2-0 loss to Crystal Palace and their unimpressive season so far, United boss Ruben Amorim believes his side will turn things around and finish the season strongly. He also spoke about Marcus Rashford, who has been sent on loan to Aston Villa, and says the forward will do well under Unai Emery.
He's going to pay off in the end, but I know I'm not naive. I already said that many times, that this is a sport of results and we are in a difficult situation.
Ruben, this is the first time I've spoken to you since Marcus Rashford left the club, so I'm just wondering how you left the situation with him personally, and obviously he's only on loan, so there's a chance he could be back here in the summer, and how that could potentially play out.
Guys, in the summer, like we said before, we are fighting for our jobs until the summer, so I'm focused just on these games. Thankfully, about Marcus is in Birmingham now with Unai, so you can take the questions for this month to another coach. We are focused just on our players in the moment.
That was Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim. In the Carabao Cup, Liverpool beat Spurs 4-0 in the second leg of the semis to set up a final at Wembley against Newcastle on the 16th of March. La Liga president Javier Tebas has lashed out at Real Madrid after the Spanish club launched an unprecedented attack on the league's referees. Real Madrid sent a formal letter of complaint over poor officiating to the Spanish FA and the Spain's High Council for Sports after suffering a 1-0 defeat at Espanyol on Saturday. Finally, in tennis, defending champion Elena Rybakina progressed to the semi-finals of the Abu Dhabi Open with a 6-2, 4-6, 7-6 victory against Ons Jabeur in a rematch of the 2022 Wimbledon final, which Rybakina won. The Kazakh broke twice to claim the opening set in under 30 minutes before Jabeur dominated the second. The third went to a tie break after Rybakina failed to convert too much points. And that's the latest in the world of sports. For more on all these stories, visit citysportsonline.com. Tune in to the Premier League preview show at 3 p.m. on Channel 1 TV, and for Sports Panorama at 7 p.m. on Citi FM. Kickoff is powered by Shell V-Power, Shell Go Well, and Zonda GH. I am Edwin Kwakofi. The Citi Breakfast Show with Caleb Kudak continues.
It's not just a service station. It's a place you get more for every visit. It's not just a place to fill your tank. It's a place to fulfill your cravings. From chicken to chocolate, caramel or the tasty latte. It's not just a place to service your car. It's the perfect place to wash your ride. It's a place where convenience, love, friendship, joy, and laughter assemble. Because it all starts at Shell. Visit Shell today and enjoy a wide array of services and offers under one roof. It starts at Shell.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
You're looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Who do we say to bank? Baby, no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank will treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans and eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you want them. That's *530#. Then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
At ShopRite, our low price promise is to always help you save when you need it most. Make every city count this January and save big on deals like 4.5 kg Abina Vietnam rice for only 119 cedis, 99 pairs worth, and 125-gram Lily sardine for just 14 cedis, 99 pairs worth. Don't miss out. Visit your nearest ShopRite and save more this January. Offers valid until 9th February. ShopRite. Lower prices you can trust always.
This ad is not about how convenient or easy to use the Affinity app is, or not having to worry about monthly or transaction fees. Yes, banking without fees. This ad is about Affinity providing the necessary services to help grow your business. Because banking doesn't have to be an inconvenience. With Affinity, you're in. To get the app, dial *229# or go to affinityghana.com.
This March, we invite you to splash in the pool of cultural expressivity and soak yourself in the celebration of indigenous authenticity in our Heritage Month. Join us for the Heritage Month launch on Friday, February 28th as we kick off a month of unforgettable experiences. Pack your bags for the Heritage Caravan, a week-long adventure across Ghana from March the 2nd to the 9th. Discover the beauty and history of our land.
An opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful and the people, the connection.
Savor the flavors at the Back to Your Village Food Festival, a culinary extravaganza on March 29th and 30th.
The millet tozafi, the corn tozafi, we have the tubani, we have the wache, we have the dawadawa jollof rice. We also serve the local northern beverages. That's Pito and Zonko.
Taste the essence of Ghana.
The first one I was here, the second one I was here, the third one I was here, this one and the fourth one. And it's not just a bazaar, it's a festival now. And I'm so excited because this is what we should be doing.
Tune in to the Heritage On Air series on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Each week, delve into what makes us Ghanaians.
Owusu is a general account name. It's Dev's character. Owusubai. So that is why the appellation is Owusu Eduam. You see, when an Asante is Eduam, it means something that belongs to him. So Dev's character, he comes to you and grab you as if it belongs to him.
Explore our places of interest, feel the rhythm of our music, journey through our religious history, and indulge in indigenous Ghanaian food. Join us to celebrate our heritage this Heritage Month, where every moment is a story. Only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM.
Let's go to the Nelson Saba, Bagrant, Sergeant Ajete, and all who
money in the soil. Find your way into profitable careers and businesses in our Greek and ATVET now. Take a step today and change your life, your family, and community. Dial *718*50# to join now. Ghana Grows. Hope Day. Ghana Grows is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Limehouse, and other partners.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
so that will be riba nadi. Ijamuna kachana sa dami maya udendo.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Minutes after 8, Friday morning, 97.3 Citi FM. That's a break. I'm going to drum it right. Yeah. So much to do on your Friday morning. We have some important pieces of information for you first. This morning we want to situate what's happening in America within our condition and understand how its implications will be. So we'll get into a bit of the US, America, Donald Trump's new policies, executive orders he signed, USAID. We've heard about all that Donald Trump is doing within that space. So we'll get into that and a lot more on your favorite morning show. In the meantime, from planning date nights to making your kids happy with the latest toy and ice cream, these seemingly little things make all the difference in creating lasting memories. Good times start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. You can fill up on love, laughter, and sumptuous bites and treats from your partner. Our partner vendors, while you're at it, enjoying yourself with your family and friends, your car can also get the love it deserves at Shell service station and wash bay. It's one roof for everything. Visit Shell today. And it's time to maximize and grow your business exponentially. Just ask me, how would you be Sunday? Are you a shop owner, seamstress, trader, mechanic, or artisan? Are you into hotel or hospital business? Do you have a phone, a TV, car, house, or any property you want to sell? The Bisame app is here to help you to connect to your customers. You will need to register your business, reach more customers, and watch your sales soar. With the Bisame app, your security is assured. Our trade assurance ensures that your online presence is secure. Just locate the item you want to buy from any social media platform. Inform Bisame the seller is called to bring the item to the office for inspection before you make payment, and then the item is shipped to you wherever you are. We have an in-app video calls that ensures your safety. So download the Bisame app on Google Play Store or the Apple Store today and unlock endless possibilities. Grow your business, connect with customers, enjoy success with ease.
In the meantime, pay your school fees and residential fees with Zenith Bank. It's stress-free. Students of KNUST, UG, UDS, UMAT, and UED, as well as Ola College of Education, Akosobo International, and Eko Ronsad, can make payments at any Zenith Bank branch across the country, or use the school's designated merchant code to pay fees and residential fees as well. Now call 0302-680-884 or 054-2000-111 for assistance. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And the enjoyment is real. From January to June this year, Enterprise Insurance is giving you more reasons to smile on the road. Buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards. Free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone. It's that simple. With over 100 years of experience, we are here to secure you peace of mind. Visit any branch, connect with your insurance agent or broker, or use the Enterprise Advantage app for convenience and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime instantly. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise, your advantage. And Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and Africa World Airlines is ready to make it extra special for you and your loved ones. Now, do you want to win a free flight to any of our amazing destinations? Then follow these 3 easy steps. 1, follow all our social media pages: IG, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, Threads, or YouTube. 2, create a 30-second video of yourself singing the chorus of the Africa World Airlines jingle. Now, post it with the hashtag #FlyOurSingOut. So that's Fly AWA Sing Out. Tag us and send it to us on any of our social media platforms or through our handles, and we'll feature it on our page. Now, the top 3 videos with the highest likes, comments, and views will each win a free ticket to any Africa World Airlines flight destination. So get creative. Call 0800 200 200 for more details. Don't forget the hashtag is Fly AWA.
And leader change with the university built for tomorrow's leaders. Heritage Christian University is set up to provide a missing link in tertiary education through creativity and innovation. Since 2018, the university has given over 450,000 Ghana cedis as startup grants to a number of its students to start their businesses. There is a huge emphasis on entrepreneurship, technology, practical learning, and professional certification. Accredited by GTech and located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. We have graduate and undergraduate programs. Please call us 054 7777 731 77731 or 02022983998 hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian University, educating compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. Your dedications have come through. Some of your loved ones are celebrating their birthday. 0549986996 059986 Happy to share them with the rest of the world, but why wait to own your dream phone when you can have it now without breaking the bank? With MTN Pick and Pay Later, you can own your perfect smartphone. Pay in easy installments over 4 to 6 months. The best part is all phones come with up to 3 GB free data, so you can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. Simply dial *170#. Choose device Pick and Pay Later under the loan menu to start the process with just a small initial deposit. You then stop by any MTN service center to grab your phone, your dream phone actually, and enjoy the ultimate smartphone experience. Saturday, 8th February, a mother of mine by name Mrs. Elizabeth Yaboy of Good Shepherd Methodist Church, North Kaneshi, would be 80 years. Please help me celebrate her. You didn't add your name.
That's from Doji.
Oh, Doji.
Yes, you know, right. He knows that person knows who that is.
Okay. So Mrs. Elizabeth Yaboy of Good Shepherd Methodist Church, North Kaneshi, you'd be 80 tomorrow. We celebrate you. Happy birthday. God bless you. Happy belated birthday to the senior minister, Reverend Christian Oklu. Yesterday was your birthday, and happy birthday to the second minister, Reverend Albert Anand, all of Presby Church Faith Congregation, Medina Estate. God bless you all abundantly from the Odadie Oseibefi family and the Young Adults Fellowship YAF. God's abundant blessings we wish you on this day as you celebrate another birthday. You have been a blessing to us, and we pray for God's favor and direction in all you do. We look forward to growing very old together in good health and joy. Happy birthday, Sefako Anewu, Mrs. We love you. And that's coming from Adam, Semenyo, and Sanam. To you, Sefako Anewu. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Julian Ayim, CEO of Moxie. Good morning, City CBS team. Kindly wish my son Eldad Fafali Mensa, captain of Blessed Laura School, Tema Community 22. A happy birthday. Today we celebrate you and the amazing person you have become. Happy 11th birthday, son. This is from your parents and your siblings. Bernard, Iron Boy.
I'm telling you, Charlie.
Interesting
times. No, I thought the story about the University of Ghana, 25%. Now, I think it's an interesting story for a number of reasons. For an education minister who used to be a student leader,
Nuke's president at some point,
to host the SRC president and the VC in his office. And after, I'm sure, listening to both of them, I don't want to use the word direct, but basically advises the VC to implement a 25% reduction, and the VC says yes, we can do it, and then the SRC president says, well, we think this is good, but it should also lead to a refund. I thought it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting because Harun Adrisu was the NUC's president, under whom the cost sharing became a big matter. This is a 95, 96. Right, at the time I was in SHS, and I remember a lot of people talking about that, and some of the so-called Mobrawa struggle things that happened in the late 90s was part of that. So I thought it was very interesting, and that now it's possible to have a minister, and I think it shows a lot about how far we've come, because I think at the time the Rawlings government, it was not used to the level of dissent that we now have in public discourse, where today teacher unions, everybody can say anything. No, in those days, there were two big issues. The students' front was a big front for opposition. And then the VAT was also a big thing that led to the Kumipreku in 95. So, and I need to say this because a lot of young people take many things for granted. So, your SRC president and your VC have met the education minister. There was no demonstration, there was nothing. They had a meeting. And then they said they will reduce the RFUA by 25%. Look, when they were in the university, before you can secure that meeting with the minister and the VC to agree to for the minister to even tell the VC that next time they should consult the SRC in their discussion, ask him. People would have gone to police station, they will burn tires, they will see Jama, they will go in the night and pour water. Look, in the early 90s, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, getting anything from government was not easy. So I just want to tell people who are much younger to sometimes read a bit about our history to know that our democracy may not be functioning well, but there are so many things that happen now that we can be grateful for. Because I know people who died at IPS after some student agitations. I know student leaders who were beaten. I have friends today who have still not recovered from the scars of those days.
The runabout in front of the old entrance at the University of Ghana is called Meki Abbas. It was named after a student who was shot during a protest.
Look, this is which student?
Meki Abbas, University of Ghana.
No, is that the name of the person who was shot?
Yes.
Okay.
Meki Abbas.
That's the name they give. I'm not sure, but I've heard that there's something happened there. But look, I don't know the exact year. I think you can consider 93, 94. There was a lot of agitation on the student front. And in those days, because we didn't have media like the way we have it now, it was mostly the universities, and then even the business classes were not necessarily very vocal. All right. But the universities were hotbeds of opposition. All right. So we've come a long way. That's what I want to say. We've come a long way. And the way the story is captured on Citi is like, the minister met the VC and the SRC president, and they agreed amicably to reduce the salary, the thing by 20%. It was so simple.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. But the posturing, normally it's the posturing of the minister that would make it easier. You know, back in the day, the minister was always himself looking over his shoulders to see what the bosses would think.
Right.
If you bridge the gap too much between the student body and the policy maker. Because there was always something the policymaker wanted to do to ease the pressure on them. You know, funding education, increasing population sizes of universities and tertiary institutions. So should we go this way? Should we go that? There was always some contemplation, and it would always be met with some agitations, which is what I spelled.
And I also think that in those days, governments were not used to the dissent. And because of the way security was seen in the military government times, any small possible confusion they felt could be capitalized upon. So when students want to demonstrate self, it's a heightened security, police are everywhere. You know, they didn't really want to risk the system being seen to be destable.
You know, the second point you just made about they thinking that the little dissent
can lead to
something bigger, where people will take advantage of. You know, I'll just recount this quickly. When we were in KNUST, we had a major one with the authorities, and you know, we did everything.
So this is 91.
Yeah, 1991, yes. And there was Aluta, and we had to be sent home. You know, we tried everything possible to meet the authorities. It wouldn't work. We traveled to Accra to meet the I think it was Professor A.C. Sutherland.
Yes.
Who was
she was in charge of
Minister of Tertiary.
Tertiary education.
They won't even have any of that.
No time.
You know. So my friend who has gone to be with the Lord, Stephen Abibio, the photographer. Iron Man. And let me just quickly say, we are burying him tomorrow. Church service at the Kodesh, Lighthouse Kodesh, right? We'll all be there to see him off. God bless his soul. Now, Steve led us to Newtown, and then we scripted all our concerns. He did desktop publishing and created pamphlets out of it, like gospel tracts, and then put cross on the thing. And we printed thousands from Accra Newtown, and about 20 of us. I could name them, but some of them they don't want to be named because of what they're doing. And then we lined up the streets ourselves.
That's right.
We started sharing the thing like gospel tracts, and people were taking the thing. That's how we could send our stories. You know. So the agitation thing has been an old culture. But
I think what I was trying to also say was that it's also a reflection of the times, because these days it's access to. There's even a video trend which is so funny. There's a video of President Mahama at a stage, I think it was yesterday, and they were singing something. Some random guy just goes to the president with his phone. And he's taking the president's number.
No, the president is actually imputing his number on the phone for the guy.
Yesterday. So the guy, they are singing, as well as close their eyes, and the guy is wearing some, like dressed like Caleb. So you go like, say, Charlie, president, your number. And then the man too takes the guy's phone. Where they type in number, put the phone top.
You don't know which number he typed.
I don't know, but I'm just saying that, you know. So I'm still remembering the points Susu made yesterday. And I just want to say that some things have become easier. Because in those days, the students' front, it was very tough to get anything. It was very tough to get anything because they were, of course, the world was going through a transition as well, and the governments were not sure. Because there was agitation for democracy, so they were going to do the Fourth Republic thing, voting, and nobody was sure whether there were some political forces underneath the student agitation. And the students had legitimate concerns.
They did.
Okay, so for me to read today that, Charlie, Professor Amfo, Haruna Idrisu, the minister, and
SRC president,
they just had a meeting. Charlie, imagine, we just had a meeting. In fact, the way the story is written, I was like, this bullshit, this is what happened. So Haruna Edusu urges UG to reduce residential fees by 25%. Let me just read the story. Letitia says, Minister for Education has urged the University of Ghana to reduce residential facility fee by 25% for both fresh and continuing students. This decision was made during a meeting on February 6th with the university's management, including the VC, Professor Nanaba Amfo, and the SRC at the ministry in Accra. Here's a quote: I have asked the Vice Chancellor to reduce the residential facility fees by 25%, and I have subsequently urged her to engage you in the future on any fee announcement. In response, the VC, Professor Nanaba Amfo, assured the Minister of the University's compliance with the directive. Quote, we have listened to you, our Minister, and also our students, and we can afford to reduce it to 25 across the board, or reduce it by 25. It is not to, it's by 25 across the board. And going forward, there will be adequate student engagement. Unquote. Maradona Ajayeboa, president of the SRC, welcomed the reduction but called for refunds for students who had already paid the higher fees. We are thankful for the reduction. At least it will reduce some sort of burden from our parents. There should be a refund for those who have already paid. University management disclosed that approximately 80% of students had already paid for the residential facility fee. And just like that. Hey, Charlie, times have changed, pal. Yeah. So maybe we should just thank God that maybe also because the new government and maybe everybody's trying to get goodwill from both sides. Yeah. Because typically these kinds of things don't happen this simply. So let's hope this is the sign of things to come. Yeah. Now, so that was just an observation anyway. Yeah. My main concern this morning is that whilst we are doing all the appointments and all the arguments about what is happening in Parliament, there are a few things that we've glossed over. So yesterday, an MPP MP and the minority raised concern over what they call a CSM outbreak. Okay, so there's a CSM outbreak in parts of the north. Now we're talking about cerebrospinal meningitis. This followed a statement by the MP for Dafiema Busi Issa, Dr. Sebastian Sandari, on the floor of Parliament, revealing that 14 deaths had been recorded out of 60 suspected cases in the Upper West region this year. All right. Then there's also some cholera situations in parts of the country. Now I'm bringing this up because a lot of times, because we are all talking about appointments, Parliament. Yeah. So now the other thing that is very serious that USAID's shut down, I think, is one of the biggest problems we will face in the next year. Because USAID is a big global institution. They have like $40 billion in budget. That's a lot of money. Now, in Ghana, they are involved in about 6 major projects. I know there are many ministries who depend on USAID to help some of the programs they do. Yeah. Okay, now I'm bringing this up because, in a sense, we say Ghana is beyond aid. I don't know whether this government still does Ghana beyond aid. Now, USAID, they have a number of programs. So there's a very good article here by Professor Jimmy Kuting which outlines some of the things they do. Right. So, for example, they have a program called the Feed the Future Initiative.
I know that initiative because I've done some work with their office before. They brought together young people in agriculture and then they give them training. They brought them mentors who go to their farms, who give them hands-on practical training. So it was YAM. The abbreviation was YAM Workshop, Youth in Agriculture, something. So
they call it
good initiative.
So you are right. So this program supports smallholder farmers, especially in northern Ghana, where poverty and malnutrition are prevalent. Now, the program increased food production across improved market access and built resilience among farmers. Now, without this support, many farmers will struggle to sustain their livelihoods. So the first area is agri and food security, which will be affected. We don't know the exact amount, but the program itself is both financial and technical. So what a lot of people do not know is that these donors, apart from giving money, also provide technical support. Number 2, there's democracy, right? They have this accountability in domestic democratic institutions program. They call it ADISS, which deals with corruption, increased government transparency, monitoring elections, local governance, enhancing accountability in public institutions. Now, a withdrawal of USAID will disrupt these efforts, threaten democratic integrity and public trust. Now, that's not the only one. Now, there's also the West Africa Trade and Investment Hub, which the USAID has put up. This supports Ghanaian businesses across to gain access to global markets, boosting trade and jobs. For example, I was part of a project which was trying to help the the cashew industry.
Right.
The cashew industry to basically support cashew farmers to get access to other markets with their cashew products. Okay. Now, if the initiatives within this trade sector is discontinued, it will affect employment, it will affect access to markets. A lot of these farmers will have problems, and this is cash crops we are talking about. Then there's education. Okay.
Yeah.
There's the Ghana Partnership for Education project, which is supposed to improve reading skills among primary schools students, and it has reached millions of children. There's also the learning program, supplying educational materials, training teachers, and improving curricula. And a lot of rural schools benefit from this. So basically, if the shutdown is confirmed, these programs, and I've even come to health.
Yeah.
So apart from the USAID's learning program, there's also the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief,
yeah,
which operates largely to USAID and provides antiretroviral treatment to thousands of Ghanaians living with HIV. If these funds disappear, a lot of people will not have access to essential health care. Then, look, I've just mentioned about 5 sectors.
Yeah.
Now, we cannot depend on America to survive. We need to determine our own destiny.
Yeah.
But the suddenness of the withdrawal poses more complex risks for this government. Now, what is the context? This government has inherited an economy that is in trouble. No access to international capital financing. Treasury bills is the order of the day. A lot of sectors will be squeezed. All right. So the Minister of Finance right now, I'm sure is thinking about how on earth are we going to finance all the things we've planned. The big push, health, infrastructure, education. You are going to provide free tertiary tuition,
jobs creation.
All right, and all of this you want to do in 3 or 4 years in an economy that is not doing well, and now your main source of financial and technical support
has been withdrawn.
Already, a lot of donors have said they are doing trade and not aid. Now, I'm not here advocating that we should take aid, but I feel like aid has been useful, even on the technical side. So a lot of the arguments around who's getting appointed, in a year's time, the reality will start setting in. Health Minister, how are you going to finance HIV treatment? You've already promised free dialysis treatment. Malaria is still there. There's cholera. There's non-communicables increasing.
Now, cerebrospinal
education. You say you are going to continue free SHS. Papa, there's going to be a lot of problems for whoever is going to be in charge in the next 1 year. So I'm just sounding an alarm that let the euphoria around appointments reduce quickly into the reality of the work at hand, because the work at hand is going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. So now they want to bring back road tolls. Everybody's agitating for more roads. Yesterday the president was in Central Region saying they will finish some roads, they will do commenders to their factory. I said, hey.
But on the education point, for example, my friend sends a message to say that I am on a USAID funded project in the north meant to support 230 plus low fees private schools. We have been asked to go home for the next 90 days. There is so much uncertainty and anxiety. It's a big project that is integrated to help school owners, teachers and parents. So anxiety, uncertainty also because of the lack of clarity. People have been asked to go home for 90 years and the program has 90 days, apologies. And so a lot of disruption here and there. And
so we need to, for me, I'm just saying that we need to, let's stop misbehaving and let's know that there's serious work at hand. When I hear people still arguing over parliament, look, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in various sectors. Okay. And I am not advocating aid. I think we should find a way of winning ourselves of aid. But if you don't have an efficient government machinery that has an efficient tax administration with sensible tax policies and frugal spending of government, you cannot raise the resources you need to finance your development. Now, I don't think we should be depending on America or Europe or China or whatever to donate money to us. But the machine you need to properly raise revenue, and then the system you need to convert your revenue and your savings into proper investment is not there. Our banking system is not very efficient. I don't think our banking system has been built to support private Ghanaian businesses. The interest rates are too high. We don't have a proper economy. Okay, so if whatever Trump is doing in America is going to affect us big time, you may not see the effect today. Antiretrovirals, Contraception. Some of these things you may not know it. You will see that maybe in 4 or 5 years, teenage pregnancy has increased in the country, and you ask yourself why. Yeah. Maybe they draw 1 or 2 programs. Yeah. There are a lot of gaps in our policy implementation that these donors feel that is not very obvious to us.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to have a proper conversation around how do we honestly finance our own development, and how does government allocate resources in a way that, because not to do an agama is that if you look at SOEs, they are mostly running losses.
Yeah.
Yes, you look at how much people who work there are paid. Go to any ministry, department, or agency, and see the number of vehicles there. I always use as an example, and it may not be a fair example, but a lot of these government agencies, there's a lot of wastage. Every director has a V8 which is financed and fueled by the state. You house a lot of these people. Are they as efficient as they should be? You have a very large government, and it's not just a question of ministers. So the government bureaucracy is not very efficient. It's not able to raise and manage revenue effectively. And now your donor support that sort of gives a buffer is also going to reduce. Government has to change its orientation. Otherwise, this government will fail.
So that's the point. Now it's when you look at the body language of the political class, who obviously are in charge of the economy and all, it would appear that the reality of what is going on globally and how it will trickle down to us nationally has not kicked in, especially when you look at those who are doing the political. You get me?
I think they know what is going on.
Okay, but they are just also then playing the politics also.
No, they actually do know what's going on more than we would even know, because they are the interface between the country and the, if like, the global economic world. So it's not that they don't know, but at times we are not resourced to create alternative pathways to solve our problems.
Okay.
And the reason is that we have depended on these handouts, to the extent that we have institutionalized the handouts into programs, projects, and we have named them nicely.
Yeah.
And then we woke up one day and America had a new president who thought that it didn't make sense to America domestically.
Yeah.
So the ones that we can cut off immediately, let's cut off. And he has gone ahead to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, two ways of looking at this. But every country that has been in the loop is going to have an initial shock.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, the next 1-2 years is going to destabilize a lot of programs or development issues. But China, Russia, the EU are also on standby to take advantage of some of these things.
To plug in.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the countries,
they have enough resources.
Say again.
If they have enough resources.
Well, it's a strategic move. It's a strategic move. So they are not just going to throw it at you.
Yeah.
If they weigh you and they think that it will be useful and there's a partnership that can also inure to their benefit, they are coming. Okay. But it's also the opportunity for countries such as Ghana and the likes to start developing their own way of surviving.
That is the issue.
That is the issue. I mean, look, USAID is paying for condoms in Ghana.
Can you imagine? Plenty things though. What? Antiretrovirals, all kinds of things.
Yes.
If they withdraw, look, plenty people.
They have been doing this since for the last 30 years. Ghana Social Marketing Foundation.
They subsidize or they pay completely?
I mean, subsidize. That's what I'm saying. That's what it means. But you don't know the component that is the subsidy. But the point I mean is that they are sitting in America and paying for people to go and you understand? So I'm just saying that now that they are going to stop, what do we do?
True.
Local industries, policies that will be favorable for us to stand up to the task. If we want to approach this as business as usual, so let's go and beg them. Can we appoint to go and beg them? By this time, the presidency should be working overtime to now appoint somebody who's going to put all these concerns together and channel them into the ministries, empower them, resource them, direct them.
I actually want to help you. What's amazing is very important. There needs to be, in fact, you're right, the government needs to have a team to assess the impact of USAID's shutdown on key sectors and come up with the funding gap that the USAID withdrawal would occasion. This is education, trade, agribusiness and agric, health, and democracy and good governance, anti-corruption. So education, trade, agribusiness and agric, health, and then democracy and good governance. That's 5 areas. That funding gap should be one. Then the second one should be the technical, because the thing is that, so let me give you an example. If there's a program that trains cashew farmers, smallholder farmers in new methods of planting, right? The contribution may not be the amount of money they give, but the knowledge those people would have gained, that knowledge is not going to come.
That's true.
You get it? So there also needs to do a technical analysis of that gap, because for the past 25 years or more, our development paradigm has been largely donor supported, not donor driven, donor supported. It's a partnership. So I don't know whether this is at the presidential level or at the ministerial level or an interministerial team. There has to be a very serious review of what this means financially. So which means that the people who are doing the economic forum to discuss the economy have to now include another gap. Because if you look at the budget every time, let me give out the work. So maybe the government has 1 billion cedis and they decide to allocate it. Maybe they give 100 million to Ministry of Agric to do fertilizers. Ministry of Agric may say I need 150 million. Government say I have 100 million. Now that 50 million left, maybe 25 million of it could be captured by donor programs. So maybe the donors may have a certain program that can give you that money. So the whole budget process has been affected by this. So you go to the health ministry. There are certain components of our health care delivery that is funded by these donors. So there's a financial analysis, then there's a technical analysis. Number 2, what he's saying is also important, that you see we missed the COVID opportunity. We just talked, we didn't do anything. COVID came. People say don't import rice, don't export rice to us. Oh, we will produce our own rice. We will produce our own vaccine. We will produce our own facial. What did we do? We didn't do it. If you go and read the audit report on COVID, did we really develop any? Is the pharmaceutical industry stronger today than it was in 2020? I'm not sure. See, so I think that sometimes, and this is important for us to raise in the public, for the governments to know that we can track these things. You can make a lot of speeches if you like. Take the newspapers between March 2020 and March 2021. Every week, oh, because of COVID, we'll develop our own. We haven't developed nothing. We still import everything. So we need to see. He's saying it's an opportunity, and I agree. But I don't know if our leaders see it as an opportunity. Okay, I don't think they should go and tell Trump to change anything. We have to grow up. We have to find ways of financing our own development. We have to make sure. So maybe this could be a big opportunity to really look at the financial sector and say, how come you are not able to support developmental projects? There's a development bank. What is it really doing? All right. We all have to take a second look at that, because I don't think moving to China or Russia is the solution, or Europe, because you see the thing about donor support is that it's part of strategic foreign interests. So once, if I'm a minister and 30% of my budget is funded by USAID, if the ambassador calls me, I have to pick. Now, if the ambassador calls me, it means that when they are voting in UN, I may have to support them. So it's not as simple as, oh, they are giving us money. Once they help you, they can control you. So independence is not raising a flag. Independence is finding a way to determine your own destiny. It's called self-determination. So what I'm trying to say is that leadership needs to know that the coffee scent has changed. And if we cannot, and so you see this idea of, oh, we want new appointments, take over the post, let's pay you 70,000 a month. Bro, in a country that cannot buy condoms for its citizens, that cannot pay for antiretrovirals, with loss-making SOEs, go and read the SIGA report. So I keep mentioning SIGA. I am saying that SIGA should become very wild. on SOEs. The wastage must stop. Because I've listed 5 sectors that donors are paying money for you to, in certain cases, train your students to speak English, to help your farmers to grow their own plants, to give medicine to your sick people. You need donors to do it.
Education.
Why are you driving a 4-wheel drive and being paid 70,000 in your country when you can't do these things? So the reset has to mean government must be lean, and lean government is not just having system ministers.
Yeah.
There has to be a strict oversight of SOEs, and the ones that are not fit for purpose and the ones that are not delivering results, they must be within our own. We need our own slash. So we need our own Elon Musk.
Yeah. So I mean that point is well made, and I remember clearly in the past we've talked about import substitution measures where governments must encourage local companies to, produce some of the things we consume so that we don't spend all our money importing things. So that point I think we will adequately address. There's another angle to the conversation that this whole Trump phenomenon must force us to think through, which is intra-African trade. Because if you look at Ghana, I mean, if you want to deal with America as it is now on your own, you're just 30 million people. These are more than 300 million people. But if you look at the African continent, you have about a population of 1.3 billion. If you come together as African leaders now, you have a stronger bargaining chip. With 1.3 billion people, your market size is huge. America cannot say they cannot deal with you. They can ignore Ghana, that is 30 million, but they cannot ignore a 1.3 billion African population with all the resources that we have. So I think that as a continent, if we also manage to get our work together, put our act together, then we can have a stronger bargaining chip.
I'll tell you something. A few years ago, we organized an event called Gangeria Rising.
Right.
Now, in those engagements, we were trying to convince some of our political leaders that it was in our interest to develop better relationship with Nigeria on trade.
Very important.
They disagreed with us initially because they felt like Nigeria was very protectionist and did not see a win-win outcome in us engaging Nigeria proactively. We disagreed. I remember myself and Samesa had a big meeting with one of the big government officials at the time, and he wasn't seeing our point. Okay, now let's take Trump as one issue. Now let's take what's happening in Francophone Africa. France's influence on many African countries is reducing because the citizens are tired of the exploitation and they are looking for salvation. The problem is their economies have been structured over the past 60 years on France dependence. France controls a lot of things in those countries. So the countries themselves have not developed the muscle to be self-determinate. This is what I'm saying. Trump and what he's doing with Elon Musk and all this protectionist America first, plus Francophone West Africa, indeed, I think the Francophone experiment in Africa is collapsing. I think it's a very big opportunity for African leaders if they can think. So, see Mohammed's inauguration. 21 heads of state came. The rapport is there. The credibility is there. I think African leaders should organize a summit devoid of donor funding. Close the door. Don't invite any foreigner. And let's ask ourselves, what do we need to do in the next 20 years to actually become viable economies devoid of control by the West and the East or wherever? This is what we should be saying to ourselves. That starts with the way we think, because when we meet, the Francophones go into one corner, the Anglicans go into another corner, and there's always suspicion. All right, and these things I'm saying is a leadership issue. When I interviewed Jacob Zuma, I made that point that look, he thinks that the caliber of African leaders, in his view, the type of leaders they had in the days prior to him. So he was making reference to the generation after Mandela, the Kufuor generation, Kibaki. He says he felt they were more aligned to Africa's strategic interest than the new crop.
We have now.
But we are seeing one or two. So sometimes people will show you the picture of the Burkina president or whatever. I think we need, beyond the grandstanding, very serious thinking around how do we use this new, because essentially what Trump is doing is that he's anti-globalization. Right? He's basically saying America first, everybody else go to hell. Okay. Now we cannot say because of that Russia, China, awa too, because you will never have freedom and really be respected if you cannot find a way to finance, and now I know that you need help to develop.
True.
Singapore needed it, Korea needed it,
Japan needed it.
but the truth is that those kinds of help will not benefit you if you haven't built your own base. All right, and I think we have a very good opportunity as a society to say, look, in the next 25 years, by 2050, we should be feeding ourselves, we should be clothing ourselves, we should be healing ourselves with minimal support from outside.
True.
And it should be a strategic thing that NDPC puts up, whether NDC or MPP is in power. The plan is that by 2050,
it should be
if there's no food import, we will also not, because you see a lot of these countries that we deal with. Look, America has a lot of oil reserves. They are not even exploiting it. Now they say they want to drill. We, small oil, you have to go to Italy. You have to go. We haven't built capital. So there are two problems.
Technical competence.
We don't understand finance as a society, and we don't have a production capacity. So this is the thing. If you want to be a developed country, you must be able to produce the things you need on your own. And to produce, you need human know-how and money. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
So you need people who can actually make things and pay for the things they make.
The resources to get it done.
Now, this is the broad problem we face as a people, that money is too expensive. So to finance anything, you need money from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So look at Commander Sugar Factory. You went to bring money from India. Then you went to bring money from somewhere else. That's one. You don't have the money. Which Ghanaian bank will give you money to do such a thing, and for 8 years is not doing anything? Then you don't have the machinery and the know-how to produce it, to make it cheaper than the guy bringing it from Brazil or Mauritius. That's the other problem. So the technical capability of producing sugar at a competitive price, which is where government comes in. So he will say, government, if somebody is producing sugar in Ghana, you must use government procurement power to support him. But what our governments do is that, and this is true for sugar, it's true for fertilizer. Our governments cynically pretend to be supporting private sector, but you know what they do? People who come from other countries come and cut deals with them. So your fertilizer program, fertilizer is coming from Ukraine, fertilizer is coming from Switzerland or wherever, and they have all these lucrative contracts with the ministries, department, agencies. If somebody wants to do a fertilizer company in Ghana, he will struggle. You can say same for cement. You can say same for all the products. Government is doing school feeding program. Will they procure from the Ghanaians? So the Ghanaians cannot produce. The Ghanaians cannot produce. How will they ever learn to produce if you don't give them the contract? So our governments, in my view, have been appendages of the international system that has kept us down. If you really want, and you see, they know this. The average Ghanaian businessman cannot meet his president in 3 months. A delegation of some 2x4 people come from China.
Quick.
With some guy who doesn't even speak proper English. You'll get some guy become with some cheap perfume. Next thing you know, they're in the president's office signing a deal. This is the
perfume for me.
This is the problem.
And the cheapness of it.
This is the problem. So you have school feeding program, you have buffer stock and all these things. Ghanaian companies are not benefiting. How can they produce to be competitive if every time donors are marching in? Then the president and his people, they will be there. Then they will start signing. Ghanaian businessmen, AGI, they will be shouting on radio. When COVID came and Vietnam said don't give us rice, then they realized that Ghanaian rice producers matter. Now that COVID has gone, we've gone back to the same old things. So the whole thing is about deals and procurement at the expense of building local capacity. Go to finance committee. Finance committee must now think about how do we get local finance, cocoa syndicated loan. Every time you are depending on foreign people for your money. Do you get what I'm saying? So the US thing plus the francophone problem and the geopolitical tussle should cause African leaders to begin to think very deeply about production, produce food, produce clothes. If you can't even, he always says, if you can't even produce a car, at least the food you eat there,
you should be able to do that.
If you can't produce a car or a computer, ask for food there. And don't give me a slogan and give it a nice fancy name and mismanage it, and at the end of the day, we still are importing billions of dollars worth of food.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you would love to talk about research, even researching into the solutions, the problems, and deciding what matters.
No, I wouldn't want to talk about.
Okay, but just the point I was going to make about that is that I've been in meetings with academics where they tell you that even what we decide to research and focus on is determined by the source of funding. So you may have your own problems, but someone will tell you what to research into because they are bringing the money.
My response is actually to make another point.
Right.
We have loads of research materials.
Which is true. Yeah.
Papa, you spent 1 week at the CSIR. I always mention CSIR. You spend 1 week, and there are other equally important research institutions. Just spend 1 week. You blow your mind. The solutions that they have for this country
on shelves.
Sitting on shelves. The publications. Go to our universities, even the private universities. We have crafted solutions to our problems. But the trade-offs between using the solutions and the revenue, private revenue that people will get, because of that, they will ignore our solutions. I mean, we are in the media. Okay, President Mahama is our president. He came into the thing by pushing his agenda using local media. He became president. He gave interviews to foreign media.
Yeah.
You see, this whole thing about it has to be foreign for me to validate.
That's a problem.
It's a big problem. And I'm saying the man is talking to Al Jazeera, is talking to, when is he going to talk to the media that is established in Ghana by locals?
It's a very good example.
You have all these Zoom Lions, Sickens people, and all the major, I forget some of the names.
You remember now?
Yeah, the businesses who have led local businesses. But I made the point. What is the platform that we have created that gives them a constant interaction with the policy maker for a certain set of a progress that we want to establish, engineer? No, but the people will come. You see, every time when you are coming to Ghana, you see them plenty on the plane.
Yeah,
they are wearing some coats.
Are you in Charlotte?
Yeah, come. In Ghana, there are people, go to Tema. There are factories there owned by foreigners who don't even speak one English.
That's true. And in fact,
there are
companies communities
whose directors don't even live in Ghana. They are directors, but they don't live in Ghana.
They are making money off the country.
There are companies here who only take cash payment. They don't take check.
Yeah. So there's no banking tracing of anything they do.
I'm telling you. And I'm saying that we can't do this to ourselves and pretend that, if the aid is not coming, the man says he won't give us again. It says that he won't give us again. He won't give us again.
So just as COVID, we are thrown into a situation where we have to man up and think quickly and decide that we are taking our destiny into our own hands. And it's not like the solutions are far-fetched. There are things we've been talking about for a very, very long time. I mean, because the kind of things we consume every day, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, even water, I don't know why we still allow foreign brands to come compete with our local ones.
But if your local ones are resourced and given the support, no foreigner will find it attractive to bring their water here.
That's the thing.
You understand?
Yeah, because theirs will be cheaper.
So it's not about banning. You see, this is the thing. If you don't provide a platform to support your locals, you'll be in trouble. So let me give you another example. So most countries here, when they look at their development journey, they start as agricultural agrarian societies. Then they move into value-added manufacturing. Then they end up as service societies, service-led countries. That's the regular trajectory. We have skipped industrialization and moved straight to services. And I don't think it's a good thing. Because you see, services can be easily replicated, and it depends on a lot of things, but manufacturing is more difficult to copy. So if your competitive advantage is from your value added manufacturing, it gives you a stronger platform to build your development on. It's also more labor absorptive.
Yeah.
So you have a huge factory producing shoes.
Yeah.
Yes, you may use robots, but you still have a lot of people employed. As against service-led industry where people bring their banking sectors here, they bring their call centers here. Services are also great, but services cannot be the trajectory directly after agriculture. It has to be from agriculture into manufacturing. So I think there needs to be a strong focus back on our technical capacities.
Yeah.
Talking about things like polytechnics.
Yeah.
And those kinds of things, because that is the base for development. We need to go back to those things as
well. Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief has sent a message that corroborates this point and also goes back to speak to the traffic situation we spoke about. For example, he says the Physics Department of KNUST built the traffic light on their campus, which uses solar and does not go off with or without electricity.
Nice.
But all the traffic lights and major intersections in Kumasi and Ashanti region go off immediately. There is doom zone.
Because I mentioned this yesterday, but the point is that nobody is stealing the solar. Nobody is going to steal the solar on UST campus. But elsewhere, somebody will steal it and nothing will happen to them.
The other question though is that, can this be scaled?
Of course.
That's the point, because he says the professors at the physics department proposed this idea to the government, but someone was demanding 10% before they can let the professors get the funding.
But my point is that it can be scaled.
Yeah.
You see, the question is that the fact that you crafted the design, it doesn't mean you have what it takes to get into the market space.
True.
You understand?
True.
So there is a chain. So if you have created it, the solution, now let's move it to the next step, where there's another organization who can commercialize it. I think for me that's how it works.
But what tends to happen is that government projects prefer, so two things. Don't forget when we discussed this Accra traffic thing. Now, if the money is coming from China to do that project, there's no way they will say that let the physics department of text design be the one they use.
They will bring it from China.
So you cannot crack development if you don't crack finance. Do you get it? Because if a Chinese bank has signed an agreement with you to help you implement a Kumasi intelligent traffic system,
you have to use Chinese funds.
Physics department at Tech has come up with a project. So you see, I keep saying that our financing is our problem, because you see, the money is not enough and it's too expensive. So let's even assume the government said we are going to support this physics department to do this thing on scale. How many financial institutions can actually give them money? Do they have a business case? Can you transform? You see, this is what I see. For any sector to develop in Ghana, you need the interplay of three things: private sector, which is the market, academia, which is the research, and government, which is the policy. Let me repeat this. I'll repeat it 1,000,000 times. In fact, globally, whether it's AI, whether it's the fourth industrial revolution, whether it's all the things we're seeing in the world, whether it's Facebook, there is a threefold cord for development. The academia or research institutions, the market, which includes private sector, banking, the people who have money, and the government, those who create the
policies.
The policy. That triangle always has to work. Now, if you come to this traffic conversation, the policy can be buy Ghana first, improve mobility, support Ghanaian research. Okay? Academia is the physics department of Tech who say we are going to force our students to be creative in their projects. So before you graduate, you must create something that solves the Ghanaian problem. But if the marketplace, if the financing is not there, the government and the academia can do anything they want. But if there's no business case, because if I'm going to give 1 million CDs to support that project, I should get it back with interest at a specific time. There must be a route to market. It must be competitively priced to compete with the cheap import from wherever.
That's the
thing. So this is the problem. These three groups work in silos. The government policy is driven by I want to win elections and I want to appoint people to come and do what I want. So I appoint people who are political in nature. half of them are looking for money.
Yeah.
That's the second problem.
Yeah.
Academia is also afraid because they don't want to speak too much. They have some good ideas, but they don't have the skill set to go and be hustling with the market.
Yeah.
The market is also thinking opportunistically because regulation is not and policy is not directed at supporting production.
Yeah.
So a lot of the banks are buying government paper and they are just supporting trade, buying and sell.
Yeah. And not production.
So all the banks have become universal banks, and all the banks are doing is, if you want to bring some goods, I'll give you money to finance it, and I'll go and buy government paper.
Yeah.
So you see where we are going. Okay. So your political head is not thinking well. Your finance person is not thinking well, and your academia is frustrated. So you take a job at MIT and go and do a research job. He says, "This tech I'm leaving because Ghana they are not serious." He will do the same research in the US. Companies will come in and give him a 10-year contract, and he's made money. So what is happening is that because the government, academia, and industry are not working together, we are losing our best minds to countries that are using those minds. Yeah. So you see our problem. Yeah. So then they will create all the innovation in America or China because and they will use your citizens because your politicians and your political head are not creating the environment to support his mind. So you are screwed. So this is the problem you are having. So so it comes back to the leadership. The appointments are very important. You need to appoint the right people, and the presidency must set the tone to say we are going to drive support for local solutions, and we are going to do our very best to push it through. And then you are going to read the Riot Act to the finance people to say, banks, we will not give you all these bricks to just be buying government paper. Government is even, why is government even selling? Government's major source of finance is T-bills. That's even a problem from the beginning. The government itself has to rethink how it finances its development. Do you see where I'm going? These are the intricacies of the conversation we are having, which the USAID radar is just exposing. That if we don't have better leadership, which puts citizens at the center and appoints leaders who have the right mind, it will just be a soldier go, soldier come. Nothing's going to change.
You know, the beauty of what we are talking about is that there are things we have done in terms of areas we've spearheaded things, and what I have been excited about is our Made in Ghana push for a very long time and consistently. But sometimes I've been reflecting on the Made in Ghana conversation and the advocacy, and the bottleneck I see here is that Bernard talks about three things: research, academia, private sector, market, banking, and then the government, where the policy side comes in. Now, when you are doing the Made in Ghana thing, the challenge that people then get to find is that, look, okay, so now we have seen that in terms of research, our Ghanaian entrepreneurs are using our research to produce top-notch quality stuff. If it's food, it's healthier. The packaging is great. If it is clothing, it's good. It reflects our identity. Whatever the innovation is something we can connect deeply with. But when push gets to shove and it gets to the money conversation, then I can get 5 other options that are cheaper compared to one here in Ghana. And if I'm looking at my earning, I'm thinking between Made in Ghana and made elsewhere. Yes, I want to get a Ghanaian farmer paid with my money. I'm voting with my money for the Ghanaian farmer. But when I look at the prices, then there's a problem. And here we are talking about the fact that the private sector, which is the market, the research, and government in terms of policy must meet at some point to make it so that you're not banning foreign products, but the Ghanaian products that are produced, that are quality, that are good enough, are cheaper enough so that the Ghanaian will go for the Made in Ghana thing. And that's where I think we are now.
So the regime where it's government's responsibility to make things cheaper is long gone.
True.
Government has no business
doing business.
In making things cheaper, as in the price points cheaper.
Yeah.
Government's business is to enable and facilitate the players, the efforts of the players, so that they can make things create and solve our problems.
True.
Now, economies are grown based on a lot of things, but the key amongst which is the availability of markets. You understand?
Availability of markets.
Availability of markets is a key, very, very, very key. Okay?
Yeah.
You go to those who are producing weapons, some of the main countries producing weapons, their market sizes grew by so and so percent in the last 4-5 years. And guess where the products went to? Ukraine.
Conflict-prone areas.
When somebody was suffering, that was somebody's market.
Making money.
So, if we do not see the sub-region as a viable market that can trigger our growth in a short or medium term, and all we do is to fly out of the continent, go and take the baller that they have repackaged and send it to us. At times I ask myself, Bernard, as if we talk for nothing. You are just talking about this rice imports, flour imports, rice import. The policy maker, the politicians themselves, they have businesses that they have been involved in rice and sugar for the last 30 years. And we are expecting them to be the one to help the locals.
Let's do a quick interview.
Yeah, Professor Jimmy Kuting.
It's not Professor, it's Mr.
Oh, Mr. Jimmy Kuting, right, Bernard.
He's written a very good article on this issue, just to pick some more thoughts on how serious the disruption would be and what are the options. Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
What motivated you to put down this article? It's been published in a number of papers. The cost of America's retreat and what a USAID shutdown would mean. What motivated you to put pen to paper?
Essentially, these are conversations. These are part of broader conversations I have with my students every year. As you know, I teach at the Takoradi campus of Gempa, and one of the courses I teach is titled Contemporary Development Issues in Ghana. And one of the modules under the course is essentially looks at the role of civil society organizations, the NGOs, and all of that in our governance process. So I thought it was important to broaden the audience scope and put pen to paper and share my thoughts and my views.
How big is USAID globally and in Ghana as well? Give listeners a sense of how big such a withdrawal is in terms of the size of the organization.
Well, it has worldwide operations, Southeast Asia, the Middle East especially, and Africa. So it's a global operation. It's one of the key agencies under the U.S. State Department. Even though their budget is small compared to the other agencies under the State Department, the influence they bring to bear on U.S. foreign policy is big. So if you are looking at it in terms of budget, they might be small in the eyes of the U.S. State Department, but the influence, the soft power that it gives to the U.S. government is huge. So they are spread across the world.
Now, the other point is these agencies usually do both financial and technical support. I want you to put that in context, because a lot of times people look at support just in terms of money. You actually listed some programs within their portfolio, which you say that without this support would cause a big challenge. Can you just elaborate a bit on that?
So the biggest area, so it's sectorial, okay? So there's agric and food security, there's governance and democracy, there's direct support to economy, education, and health. For those in northern Ghana, the biggest support goes into agric and food security. They have this program called the Feed the Future Initiative, essentially supporting farmers to grow their crops and sell and all of those things. So if there's such an abrupt withdrawal, smallholder farmers are going to be greatly affected in northern Ghana. There is a program they run with NHIA in the health sector. They have programs with the Ministry of Health directly and all of those things. There's a particular one where, Bernard, radio stations, over 100 radio stations have benefited from that project for the last 7 months. And I'm sure you might, if you are part of that, you might have gotten notice that program is on hold. There was a new one to be started in March. That program is on hold. So the impact is felt across. Yes, they provide technical support and monetary support and all of that. But essentially, without both, these programs will be wrapped up and put on the shelf. So the impact is huge.
Now, in the sectors you referred to, education, health, agric and agribusiness, and then also governance and democracy, the ministries involved, what do you think they should be doing at this point? I mean, I read, for example, last week, Ghana Health Service issued a letter about some challenge that will be faced in the north with some supply of health materials or health products or something like this. How integrated are these USAID activities in the regular programs and projects of the ministries, department, and agencies? Do they do them as standalones or do they do them together? And if so, what could be the impact on even the budget for those ministries, departments, and agencies?
Well, they do it together. I mean, it's both. Okay, there are some projects. I mean, at the rest of speaking for either the ministry or USAID, what I know is that there are some projects that are standalone. There are others that they do together. But Bernard, putting it in context, USAID has been in Ghana for over 60 years, and they've been constant in the areas that they ply their trade, so to speak. So I am certain that the ministries involved, agriculture, education, health, are going to have to go back to the table and look at their budgeting for the year again. Remember that this is a very abrupt decision. There was no forewarning. It just came just like that. So I foresee two things. Either the budget for these programs will be drastically cut to understand what is going on, and or they will just be wrapped up and put somewhere. If you want to bring it home, there are everyday products that we use that are solely funded by the USAID. For instance, secure sanitary pads, ebony condoms, flame condoms, all these are USAID funded products. If this is sustained, then we might not have these products on the market anymore in the next 3 months. So it is that big.
Right. Finally, in terms of what Ghana should do, I know in your article you said some people are saying we should look at the EU, we should look at China and Russia. Some people also think that, look, let's just focus on ourselves and forget all these donor things. Where do you stand? Because don't forget, the previous government had even declared Ghana beyond aid. All right. Should we begin to warm up to other global powers because the vacuum will be too sudden to fill? Or should we say, look, this is a chance for us to move and truly be self-determinate? Where do you sit on that in that debate?
The truth of the matter, Bernard, is that our expenditure is more than our revenue and collections. There's a huge gap that allows these donor agencies to come in and play ball with us. We would have to look at our expenditure. We would have to look at our spending. We have to look at our tax collection and all of those. Close the loopholes where revenue is being lost. We have to we will have to have a national conversation about how we spend money and where we spend it. We cannot be self-reliant by depending on donor support. You will always be a weak nation, a weak country, if you are always depending on donor support to run your everyday activities as a country. So it's one of the things I think that we should look at. The second thing is we must begin to take PPPs, that's public-private partnerships, very seriously. Government alone can't do it. The government doesn't have money to spend. We must begin to look at the extent to which we allow private partnerships in the development, process. I think these are very key things that we must look at. And beyond that, I think we must diversify our development partnerships abroad. There's a heavy reliance on U.S. aid, even beyond the USAID. There's very heavy reliance, and increasingly the world is becoming multipolar. I think that we must play ball with the others, like China, India, and all of these things. So these are the three things that I think we must look at. Our revenue matters, the PPPs, and diversifying our development partnerships, Bernard.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for your work. Jimmy Kutin teaches and he also writes. And these days he's teaching at it's in the Takrady version of Gimpa.
Yes.
With a very interesting article published in the News Center. The cost of America's retreat. What a USAID shutdown would mean for Ghana.
Right, so it's 9:16. We'll take a very quick break. When we are back, a lot of your messages are in. We'll be sharing them with you. 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. Share your reflections. We are looking at America's retreat, what a USAID shutdown would mean for Ghana, and what does it mean for you personally, because we were told that people had to shut down, leave office in 2 days and all of that, and it's a very disruptive phenomenon. So nationally, personally, we're looking at all of that right after this break.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Ghana Post, the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Package, in less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they be. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
First impressions matter. Make yours unforgettable with the irresistible scent of Princess Body Mist and Roll-On. Designed for every lady who wants to leave a lasting impression wherever she goes. And for our gentlemen, there is Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Elevate your presence with a confident, masculine fragrance that keeps you dry and fresh all day. Because your fragrance should speak before you do, use Princess Body Mist and Roll-On and Style Up Perfume and Roll-On. Your daily essentials for smelling good from dawn till dusk. Princess and Style Up. Smell good and feel great together. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Love brewed in the valley. If you're looking to make this Valentine's Day extra special, Peduasi Valley Resort has the perfect packages for you. Indulge in our delightful dinner buffet with a melodic live band on Valentine's Day and take advantage of our special room and spa packages from 10th to 16th February. Treat yourself and your sweetie to a truly memorable experience this season of love. For enquiries, call 0540-125-555 or 0540-125-554. Peduasi Valley Resort. Live life.
High school sweethearts, baby. You know, even then I knew it just.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
It's magical.
19 after 9, 97.3 Citi FM. A Citi Breakfast Show. I am Caleb Kuda here with Bernardino Koku up there, Samuel Atamensa, reflecting on the days ahead. In the meantime, when you buy anything, it has to be the very best. Diamond 42.5 hour grade cement is the highest quality on the market. We have the affordable 32.5 hour grade also. You deserve the very best. Choose Diamond Cement, your number one choice for all your building needs. Deal with the company directly, please. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide. We have factories in Aplao, Takrady, Buepe, 0244-313-368, 0540-111-978, 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement is still as hard as a diamond. Now, I saw an interesting text message asking about Heritage Caravan. Okay, so the Heritage Caravan 2025 is officially sold out. Thank you for your patronage. Now let's get ready for the road trip of a lifetime to discover.
Somebody said he wants 2 spaces for Heritage Caravan.
By this time. At this time.
Is it like you don't?
For a year.
Is it like the work you do? You are so busy that everything we've been saying, you don't be listening. This morning.
It's just, you haven't heard anything. yesterday somebody actually called me. I mean, Bernard, I just took in a deep breath. I'm telling you. I said, this one is trying my patience. You see, and what China, Mama, microphone, almost America, banner, what China, one can't seminar, or more trauma ticket.
What China says, if you call them, what you see, are you like a PA to the woman?
I just looked at the number again and I kept quiet because.
I said,
I don't even know what to say. He said, what China? I mean, council also is sold out. When did you open the thing and then the thing is sold out? I said, Frema, please come and take your auntie away.
Oh my God! Well, Bernard, we have someone on the line. Maradona Yabua Ejay, UGSRC president. People better know him as Guru, and we are talking to him over the meeting that was held between the education
don't
minister.
Forget that Ejubi had done a story 2 weeks ago where students were complaining about
the cost of accommodation,
the increase in accommodation charges.
Yes,
and so maybe you need to engage him on that, and also spaces, because I have fresher friends who struggle to get rooms because there was a balloting done, and I think there aren't enough spaces. So maybe we can engage him on all of that.
So Maradona, good morning to you and thank you for joining us. Tell us about your meeting with the education minister and other stakeholders yesterday. How did that go?
Yeah, thank you so much. With our meeting yesterday, it came in as a surprise, okay? Though we've petitioned the necessary offices, and we're hoping that something is done about the increment. Though it was implemented in our administration, but it was something that has been engaged by other stakeholders on campus with our predecessors, which we weren't aware. So basically, though it was approved by council the very day that I was sworn into council. But with the meeting with Minister of Education, Honorable Haruna, I think it was successful, and we are happy about it because we had our vice chancellor and other stakeholders were all part of the meeting. So for the minister to give us the chance to deliberate about moving forward. So to me, I think that was a good step by the minister and also all the stakeholders giving us the chance to pour our discretions to them and making sure the interest of the students is fulfilled. Without the students, I'm not sure there will ever be University of Ghana. So for serving its purposes, I think they did so well.
Right. So help us understand which of the hostels will be benefiting from this. Does this cut across? Is it, private hostels included, or is just the traditional hostels and all of that?
It is the traditional hostel, because with whatever increment that happened with the previous administration concerning other hostels like the UGL, I wasn't there, so I might not know the nitty-gritties of what really transpired, the increment of the UGL hostels and all that. But with this current one, since I am the president, I'm aware. So whatever will be the major role of the president and its management or the administration is to make sure if something is a burden on the students, we are to make sure we are to reach out to all stakeholders that matters in helping to resolve the situation, because we all know the financial constraints on our parents, and it's a global thing. It's a big challenge. So we are also trying to make sure we provide the services that will reduce the pressure in our various homes. So that is our role to play, and we did it so well.
Okay, so for the students who've already paid, will they get a refund? And then also, does this include other universities, or is this just a University of Ghana conversation?
Now that it's been approved by the ministry, the government, all right, I know there are ways to go about it. We requested for a refund.
Right.
We requested for a refund because there are other areas that needs to be taken care of, right? Even to survive on campus, there are other dues that we pay. So if we are to get a refund for those who already done paying, I think it will do us good because no amount of little money is too small on campus. So we will prefer there is a refund. But there is always a process to go about some of these things. So we are hoping the school comes out with a communique that would direct us on how to get our money, or either they will credit us for the continuous students. No, with the continuous students, some of us we are completing by October. So how do we get it? I think there will be always a way to give us the refund.
Now, I do know that KNUST, for example, has issues with their accommodation, the cost and the availability and all of that. So that's why I'm asking whether or not this new directive that residential facility fees are reduced by 25%, whether it applies to other universities, or this was just a conversation between the SRC of University of Ghana, its management, and the minister.
Well, University of Ghana SRC gives us the chance to speak on matters arising at the student front or the happenings of the student body. So it gives us the chance to speak on issues about the youth. All right. So basically, if we are championing this agenda, we can't omit our brothers from tech. So we are hoping that since the minister said, or director of GTech said that they won't allow any institution increasing figures without the involvement of the government. So that means they are taking steps in making sure if there has been anything that has been imposed by the management will be revoked, and making sure there is sanity, comfortability on our parents or in most of these schools. So I'm sure they are just using Legon as a reference in making sure proper step is taken, because KNUST is governed by, though there is a management, but I'm sure the government also play a major role. So I'm sure with the keepers and all that, all will be affected, hopefully. Yes.
Thank you very much, Maradona Ajay Yeboah. He is the SRC president. Maradona Yeboah Ajay, SRC president, University of Ghana. You know him better as Guru. So Bernard, that's some details we are getting from the meeting with the minister yesterday. Now I'm learning that no final year student has paid in full, and there will not be refunds also. So it will rather come in as credit instead
for next year.
Exactly.
All right. Lots of comments on our subject.
So many messages, but let me just take care of this one. I was trying to let people know that the Heritage Caravan 2025 is sold out, and we are grateful for your patronage. Now let's get ready for the road trip of a lifetime to discover Ghana from Sunday 2nd March to Sunday 9th March 2025. Kindly pack your bags. Let's set off on this spectacular tour for 8 exciting days through 14 incredible regions of Ghana with the promise of rich cultural experience, introspective historical visitations, and exhilarating field days with nature. This is more than a tour, it's a chance to experience the soul of Ghana, to witness its growth and to create lasting memories. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from 97.3 Citi FM, proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Hollard Insurance, Omni Basic Bank, Gold PLC, GB Food, Standard Water, and Apollonia City Terms and Conditions Supply. Let's get to some of your messages now. Guess what? Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are doing well without aid. This will nurture us into self-reliance and reduce dependence on the Western world. We shall get there. Darlington Kobla Akolache from Ebri sent that. Good morning, Bernard and team. I've been working in development, that's the NGO space, for the past 13 years. There are hundreds of people in the northern side of Ghana who are employed by NGOs. Beyond the impact of the U.S. decision on rural development efforts, there is going to be massive unemployment as a result of this decision. Desmond sent that from Tamale. Government of Ghana behaves like a lazy girlfriend who lives an extravagant lifestyle because her boyfriend always splashes money on her. Your boyfriend now decides to get wise. If now you cry, learn to make your own money to finance your economy. You say shame on Ghana, Felix.
Part of the country.
I'm shocked. Felix, doesn't the US also borrow money? We all need each other. Borrow is different from aid. I get it. I get it, but.
All right, here's one. Bernard, I work in a USAID funded project in Northern Ghana where we were confronting debilitating social and cultural norms through behavioral change. So where we were confronting debilitating social and cultural norms through behavioral change programming. We support to drive uptake of vaccines, skill delivery, malaria reduction, and many more. There are other USAID programs who are into vaccine procurement and delivery to the last mile, and others are into global health delivery. Don't be surprised to hear major disease outbreaks like measles, anthrax, etc. in the coming months. We are just not ready for this abrupt end of USAID or append of USAID. Seriously, this is more urgent than we see it.
And there are more. I have handed our natural resources. We have handed our natural resources to foreign companies and then turn around to go to the same people for loans. We need to own our natural resources and play a role in the value chain. You cannot be rich and depend on loans and taxing your impoverished citizens. George from Airport. Good morning, Bernard. The people who are supposed to stop all these foreign importation of agric products, etc., are the importers themselves. So they make loads and loads of money from it. Look, we need to save this country by putting personal interests aside and Ghana first. King Darlington from Kibi. Good morning, team. I think one aspect that's overlooked is the fact that the policymakers themselves are involved heavily in the business of importing, buying and selling. Just a few have local businesses which would use resources here. How do we move forward when the people in charge do not believe in the country? Dennis from Medina sent that through. Good morning, team. We need to stop giving tax waivers to foreign companies. This gives them a better edge. This gives them an edge over Ghanaian companies. We need to start supporting our own, you say. Richie send that through. But the USAID pullout is a wake-up call for Ghana and Africa. We have been dependent on the West for too long. The goal should be to become self-sufficient within a period. China and South Korea did the same thing years ago. They copied and produced locally and perfected these. Have you heard about Made in China 2025? It's a 10-year plan to get China to become a global high-tech nation based on some number of objectives. Today, they have achieved more than 70% of their target. China is almost the new leader in AI and tech. It's true. Good morning, Bernard. Economic development and industrialization always follows food security and never the other way around. Of all our issues, we need to fix our food security first, and that forms the basis for industrial and economic development. America after their civil war, Malaysia after independence, etc., etc. Good morning, Bernard. It's a wake-up call for all of us. We have money to pay our leaders very well. Give them all the luxury they need, but no money to train our teachers and farmers. Now is the time to cut these luxuries and put those monies to where it is supposed to be. That will benefit all of us. Good morning, Bernard. Until we begin to change our orientation and the incessant appetite for foreign goods, we ain't going nowhere. Every misfortune is a blessing in disguise. Let's take this withdrawal as a wake-up call with all the seriousness and start developing our own and give a constructive criticism where necessary. Jones Adeboy from La. I always say Ghana is like someone with so many talents yet doesn't know how to utilize them. Mr. Miles send her through. So 9:35.
Charlie, let's not forget that today is a very very important day.
Yeah.
Brigadier General
Arnold Quenu.
Goes home today.
Arnold Quenu.
And I think they are doing the church service at the St. Catherine's.
Oh my God, that was me. I was young, so I heard legends and stories about him. Were they true? That he led our ECOMOG team. He did some good work in Liberia.
Look, I'm watching it live on YouTube and asking myself a lot of questions. Everybody that matters in society is present there.
Yeah.
Everybody, from the
basis of his stature
to the former president Kufuor and all the people. And I'm asking, this man, General Arnold Quenu, did we honor him enough while he was alive?
Charlie, he's a lieutenant general.
Yeah,
Lieutenant General Arnold Quenu.
Did we honor him enough? Did we give him the recognition while he was alive? Go and see the place. Everybody's
there.
Yeah. To show last respects, due respects, very well so.
It's called Buffalo Soldier.
Yes.
If I play the song for
we need to do better with recognizing people who have sacrificed. I tried a few times
to get him to speak, but he was not in position.
He wasn't interested.
Yeah, he was not happy.
And anytime he has said that he wasn't interested, he just said,
Yeah. He was chief of defense staff between 83 to 89 or something.
Man he was everything.
Arnold Quenu died in December last year. Charge of the defense staff of ECOMOG, chief of army staff, and he's what you call a soldier. That's what he is, Arnold Quenu. So, Ghana has lost a big one, and posterity will remember him kindly. And that's the other thing. We need to also tell the story, which is why we are streaming it live.
Yeah.
All right, because a lot of young people don't know.
True.
Look, Ghana played a very key role in stabilizing Liberia, and if it wasn't for the work of people like Arnold Quenu, we don't know what would have happened in that country. So, we just have to be grateful that we have people who serve their country loyally and don't ask for anything in return. These days it's very easy to rise in Ghana to get a big post and chop a lot of money, where people have lived and served and done a lot of work. Imagine being a peacekeeper, risking your life, defending the country, defending others. It's a lot. So if you have time, log on to our YouTube channel. We have the church service ongoing, and we honor a great soldier. It's called Lieutenant General Arnold Quenu, aka Buffalo Soldier. You interviewed his friend, Brigadier Anyidoho.
Yeah, Brigadier Anyidoho is there on the front seat.
Yeah, Brigadier Anyidoho also did some really good work in Rwanda.
We need to do well.
You are right.
To do well.
But you are doing well.
Honoring these people.
You are doing well with footprints.
I mean,
don't be too hard on yourself. You are doing well.
As a country, you see, in America,
you are doing well.
The countries that we look up to,
they honor. You are right. They honor. And Okwenu needs a proper thing. I don't know whether it's
the best part of the man's adult life. It was just committed to this country.
Yeah, and even now he was struggling with some land he had.
Don't be surprised if he has no property in his name.
There was some whole discussion about his property and people encroaching and all of that.
Yes,
Charlie, it's not easy.
The man had this organization, this censor they call. He had this Sencor something.
Yeah.
They didn't even get accreditation to be election to do election.
Charlie, Charlie.
President Mahama just arrived at the funeral.
Everybody will be there.
But
all the people going there, they should think about how to honor
properly
the people who have sacrificed for this. We are happy to line up politicians and give them order of the voter.
No,
we line them up,
Charlie,
and then we give them. They come and take the thing and go. We are actually, what we do with those things is that we are belittling the essence of these awards.
National service.
Cheapening sacrifice.
You give to your own people. You choose, and then they finish. They give themselves. Really?
Not good.
Charlie, that's for another day.
So thank you. When we come back, St. Augustine's old students. I suspect he went to St. Augustine's as well.
Okay.
I will check. I'm not sure. Did he go to St. Augustine's?
Okay.
Yeah.
He did.
He went to St. Augustine's College because I saw some Absunians singing for him. Yeah, Omnia Winked Labor.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what it means?
It's what?
They will come and explain.
They
are here to talk about some of the school is I think 90 years old or something. They have a lot to say. So when we come back, we'll speak to some friends from St. Augustine's College. Sure. Incidentally, the alma mater of General Arnold Queno.
So stay with us.
Buffalo soldier, dread like a Rasta. It was a buffalo soldier in the heart of America, stolen from Africa, brought to America, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival. I mean it when I analyze the stench. To me it makes a lot of sense of the dreadlock Rasta was a buffalo soldier, and he was taken from Africa, brought to America, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival. Said he was a buffalo soldier, dread like a Rasta. Buffalo soldier in the heart of America.
42 after 9, and we have joining us in the studio Secretary of ABSU and the organizing secretary ABSU St. Augustine's Old Students Association, if you don't get it. So Engineer Eric Atasolo joins us together with Robert Orakatete. Bernard, there was a building in University of Ghana with the name Orakatete.
No, the Oraka name is a strong name.
It's a big man.
They are all over the place. Oraka is a proper name.
I've written plenty exams in that building before. I know, but they went to Good morning, gentlemen. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Wow. So you are 90?
The college is 95. Union is 90.
Right.
ABSU is 90.
When was the school founded?
1930.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow. Amy Sano.
Wow.
And transferred to Cape Coast in 1936, January.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow. So you are 95 years old.
Yes.
So in 5 years you are 100.
Yes.
Merci. But when did you go to St. Augustine? When did you go there?
I went in 1985 September.
Allah.
So you finished in 90.
90.
You did 1 to 5.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was in 86 September.
Yeah.
Also 1 to 5.
Yes. So 91.
Wow. 91. That was when 91. I was born. He was Tamens was at Tech in 91.
Okay.
91 is after that's when the Starlets won the
yes.
The under 17.
Yes.
I remember I was how old was I? I was 10 years old. So yeah. So what are you guys doing this season?
So what's happening is that the union was established in December 1934, and in August, we have the college named after St. Augustine, whose feast day is August 28th of every year. And so we normally have
St. Augustine of Hippo.
St. Augustine of Hippo. Yes.
Okay.
So we have lectures and masses in August every year.
Okay.
Now, because the union was 90, we decided to have a lecture in August last year.
Okay.
Which was about the contribution of alumni bodies in the running of secondary schools, focusing on ABSU. And then subsequently we had a health walk. That was in December. And then now we are having 2 activities in January, February. One will be a dinner and awards night on Friday the 21st of February. And then on the 23rd, that Sunday, we'll have a Thanksgiving Mass at the Christ the King. We are here to talk about the dinner specifically.
You have a dinner?
Yes.
When?
Friday the 21st.
Why are you organizing the dinner? In this economy, why do you want to organize a dinner and eat a lot of food?
That is the more reason why we need to have a dinner. we recognize that ABSU, just like any other year group, our schools have been run on the philanthropy of alumni bodies.
A lot.
People have stretched and overstretched themselves to give. People have given of their time, resources and everything else. And we think that at 90, we need to recognize some people. So the essence is, yes, let's meet and celebrate the fact that we are 90. But beyond that, let's recognize some of the people who have donated their time and resources to support the college for which we are alumni.
So, Raka, who are some of the people you'll be honoring for the awards? Do you have any names?
Okay, what we did to make this thing fair across board was to ask every year group to nominate 2 people
to
be considered for the awards.
Okay.
So every award winner is coming from a year group.
Hey, not by the neck.
Not by neck.
All year groups.
So the year group is so we have about 80
year group. Yes.
We have about 85 people we are honoring, including past headmasters.
What is the oldest year group alive? What's the oldest year group students alive?
It should be the 1953, 54 thereabout.
They are alive.
These are people.
But we have a headmaster who is 1955.
That means he finished Form 5 in 1955, which means entered school in 1950.
He lives at Tesano.
Is he a science book author?
Yes.
Because I use a book.
Yes,
by Sedo.
It's him. From Ogasco, he went to Laboni, went to the GES.
So I don't know if it's a math or science book.
It's a science book. It's a science book. It's a science book. Sam Sedo.
Oh, so he finished in 1955.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So he'll be there.
He'll be there. He has confirmed his presence.
If somebody finished secondary in 1955, how old is the person?
And then my headmaster finished 1953. He's also alive. Luke Jesepia.
He's in what about Professor J.S. Jangma? Because I know he.
J.S. Jangma, yes.
I think he's A level. He did
A level. Yes.
He did A level. So do you consider them old students too?
Yeah. We pair those who did only sixth form with their year mates of the O-level batch.
Why are these alumni engagements important? Is it that this is how you raise money to support the school? Is it just the fun of eating a punching cracker? What is the whole alumni thing, secondary school?
Bernard, if you look at the current educational system, you realize that government alone is not able to provide for the needs of the schools. So the alumni play a major role. If you look at St. Augustine's, for example, for every speed day that we organize, that year group is responsible for a major project.
Okay.
So that is how we've kind of renovate most of our structures in the school. We also sponsor some teachers through sister unions in US. As part of the awards, the best teacher, for example, go to US for a holiday. This is a way to motivate the staff to give up their best.
So if I ask you to list some of the projects alumni have supported in St. Augustine's, will you be able to give me a list?
We can give you a whole page right now.
Oh really?
Yeah, we can do it right now. 2 years ago, 98 built a 2-bedroom 4-unit staff apartment.
That's my year group, by the way.
Yes. And then
2-bedroom,
that same year,
4-unit
staff apartment.
That's 98 year group.
That same year, 1982 year group refurbished a 4-unit 3-bedroom staff apartment. That same year.
Wow.
Last year they refurbished an 18-unit classroom block.
Wow.
Modernized it into a very modern state-of-the-art facility. This year they are doing the junior science lab made up of. We have a senior science lab and a junior science lab and then a biology lab. So they are refurbishing the junior science lab together with the lecture theater into an AI center.
Capital-intensive project.
His year group, Robert's year group, did the dining hall.
Wow.
My year group did the geography block. 1989 did assembly hall. 87 did administration block. It's countless.
How do you think the government should position all the old student unions? Because it seems as if they are like ancillary. But from the way you are talking, especially for these big schools, your old students are very, very plugged in.
In fact, I think about 2 years ago, the then minister said that alumni groups are not stakeholders. they see them as partners that support. And I thought it was a very unfortunate statement because in any of the schools we have, take the alumni out, the school cannot survive 2 years.
Same for Presec.
And so I think we need to see them as active stakeholders. It is not for nothing that they serve on the boards and all of that. And so we need to see them like that, give them the necessary
incentive
to be able
recognition and also the role. Because even in terms of the free SHS and the challenges being faced, even in my secondary school, the projects people do, the 99-year group, the people after me, they built an AI lab. We don't have our assembly hall is big. I'll tell you something, even we are trying to organize a PTA meeting.
Okay.
Sometimes we have to get extra canopies to house just the parents.
Only parents.
My brother. Hey! Yeah. Because the assembly hall is big, but there's just if you have 5,500 students and you're even doing PTA meeting for even Form 3s, so sometimes you have to even break up the PTAs into Form 1 PTA, Form 2 PTA, and then you have to hire canopies to just hold PTA meetings
for parents,
bro. So like the manage, and I hope this new minister understands the importance of these alumni groups and actually cease to listen to their suggestions. If we take away what alumni groups have done from secondary schools,
the schools are not existing.
The head teachers don't joke with the alumni groups. They don't play. When I was doing speech day 98-year group, that's when I saw the work that head teachers do. Headmaster's work is magic. Look, it is one of the toughest jobs in Ghana under free SHS. To be a headmaster of 5,400 students and to keep the school fed every day with light and with water
resources.
That work of headmaster is serious. And I spent 2 months and I realized, no, these people, their work is too hard. And you've been doing this for years, so you know. It's tough. So I hope the Minister of Education is listening, that these alumni groups are not just making noise and doing bonfire. It's a very important part of the secondary school ecosystem that must be recognized and given a particular place, even in policy formulation.
Very important.
I'm telling you.
I know, Bernard, to add to what you are saying, of all the stakeholders in the school system, it is only the alumni group that have perpetual interest.
Yes.
The parents have an interest only because their children are there. They move.
And even the
teachers have interest because I am teaching here.
We've been there since 98. I left every day. We are in Presec matter.
But the alumni are always there. Even when their children, maybe they think the school is not too good, they take their children to private school.
They still are interested
because they are an alumni.
Parents.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's okay. The dinner. Am I invited? Can we come and participate in Ogasco dinner?
You're invited.
The dinner. Okay, give the details.
The dinner comes on Friday, 21st of February.
Okay.
We're starting at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. All right.
In fact, all alumni are invited. You pick up your ticket at the secretariat or call your convener
right,
and pick up your ticket.
Where will it be? So that we want to taste the council some.
Yes, it will be at Aliza Hotel,
right,
Ridge Arena.
Okay, all right. So Friday
the 21st
February, Ridge Arena is happening. So call your coordinator, your convener, and get your ticket.
As we speak, a lot of the Augustine's alumni are the Anokwenu
right
funeral. He went to St. Augustine.
Yes, right. 1959 year group.
He entered January 55 and completed September 59.
My God, 1959. How was Ghana in those days? At the time, the school was at the current location.
Yes, same place.
I see.
That was the initial when they were putting the initial structures.
Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah. Now I'm told General Kwenu was responsible for the massive tree planting at Bema Camp, especially along the Gifford Road, and then I'm also told that he was actually given the state award by Rawlings. So this is from one of my listeners. He says Arnold Kwenu was awarded Order of the Volta by Rawlings.
Wow,
that's good. That's good. I think you should name something substantial after him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the story must be properly told, because that's the thing about Africa. We don't go on our own narratives. We basically just let somebody else. And I think Professor Kwesi Yankah has done a very good piece on him, and I need to point this out. So Professor Kwesi Yankah has written a post. I'll share it. General Kwenu, the Buffalo Soldier, a difficult tribute.
Wonderful.
And
wonderful.
Prof. Yanka, thank you for doing this.
Wow.
You know, it's.
I appreciate. We will learn.
Yeah. You are too young to know.
We were not there.
But Arnold Kwenu was a big name in Ghana. Wow. I'm telling you.
Wow.
If you ask any Ghanaian to name in the 90s a soldier, Arnold Kwenu.
Yeah. You know, his son is one. He has two sons. One of them is also an APSU.
Okay.
He's another Kwenu Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And in the late 80s, when we were there, when he comes to visit the son, you see that he supported the school's cadet.
I went to school with some soldiers' children,
right?
And when their fathers are coming to visit, that's when that discipline is different. We can be playing football when he hears that his father is coming.
Quick,
he has to go and bath. Hey! Charlie, soldiers. No, bro. Charlie, soldiers. It's not easy. The toughness. You're already in the boys' school. They want you to be hard.
Oh my God.
They don't want their children to be weaklings.
Interesting.
So I don't think
he really supported the school.
He did.
I think he was a guest of honor. One of our speak days.
Amazing.
Either 92 or 93.
When Kenashigbe was
the cadet commander.
Oh really?
Yes.
Is Kenashigbe your mate?
No, he's my junior by 2 years. He was my daddy hall prefect.
Wow.
He was sharing food. Can I see what the Daniel prefect?
Wow.
For me, the Absunians I've heard of. Hackman was a prominent one. Kwesindum was one. Totobi Kwache was one.
Afenyomakin is one.
But outside of politics, there are a lot of them in the sciences, in the arts.
Professor Niboy Tego.
CMB, former VC of Legon is one. There's so many. One day you should do a full proper list so we can.
That's interesting. But Robert, there's a message for you. Someone says your AI lab, he can do it for you.
Hey,
in fact, we have one. That was the.
He wants to do the
There's one in the 18.
And another one coming up.
There's another one coming up
in the lecture.
He said he wants to talk to you, so you finish the thing for you. So the one coming up,
Well, he may have to talk to the year group undertaking the project.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm told the 2000-year group are also building an 18-unit classroom block for the school. The 2000-year group.
Please, the
unit was number 99.
99 rather.
It's already
done. Charlie, wrong filler here. Don't stop sending me wrong. Stop sending me wrong filler.
At this rate, some of the old students need to be outsourced to other schools.
No, you need to. You need to
find your own students. It's an attitude.
You need to find them. The way they are trained.
Every school has people who should be able to support, but it is bringing them together,
leadership,
creating a certain attitude among them that will propel that kind of spirit.
You have spoiled my agenda.
By the way, Eric, what's your role in the old students?
I'm the secretary.
And you are
he's the organizing secretary.
No, you are a lifelong secretary. There is a big man. He's at the PRWC Atomic, sitting on the hill. He's the secretary. I am blown his coming. He's possessing nations. Oh, you're big man.
For life.
Eric Atasoru, thank you for passing through.
So are they supposed to buy tickets?
Robert,
they're supposed to buy a ticket.
So how do they buy the ticket?
So they contact the secretariat or contact their year group conveners, and then they are sorted.
Are there numbers already? They know.
Yes, they know.
Put some out.
The dinner is this weekend.
Yes, next weekend.
Next weekend.
Next week Friday.
Thank you very much.
When you see us, I don't sack us. It is council we want. Absolute council.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for passing through. That was Eric Ataso, the Secretary ABSU. Robert Orakatete, Organizing Secretary ABSU. St. Augustine's Old Students Association. And they are singing of one of their legends.
And he was taken from Africa, brought to America, fighting an arrival, fighting for survival. Said he was a buffalo soldier, trained like a rasta.
At top of the hour, thank you so much for doing the listening. My name is Caleb Kuda. I did this with Bernardino Cocoa, Samuel Atamensa, Fred Tete Jabano, indefatigable producer, together with Shiba Araba Bailing. Thank you so much. Samuel Akomo's here as well with production. Edwin Kwao Kofi, Godfred Abeku Odun, the richest man. No, you're the man. Okay, so now is the time to welcome one of Radio University's finest. Now in the city. Ejubi, we are here, Kenting. Ejubi, good morning.
Good morning, Caleb.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Bro, I'm good. How are you? Please, I'm fine. What's in the news, Ejubi?
Hello and welcome to City News at 10.